think seeing more players show up on the Budapest 5 side is going to be the real key here for their CT hold. Ooh, Surreal already getting the opening kill, though. Torzi will not be having an impact in this round. He's already been dealt with, and Surreal spots that second player. A bit more information, but Budito gets a kill onto Thomas. So it's back into a 4v4. Endpoint now have spotted a couple of players over on that A side of the map, so they're going to set themselves up for this B play. And as it stands, Flashy is here alone on this B bomb site.
Could be an absolute bloodbath. He's got a nade. It's a bit early. And he just backs away. You're going to try and take the fight against Surreal, but not really committing too much. He is kind of swinging more often than not. Needs to be a little careful here. Playing with fire for sure. The bomb going to go down meanwhile. And now the retake is on. They do have a kit available, but that is it. They have lost Flashy as well. And Robin still in the apartments, ready for that flank. 4 versus 2 after the initial exchanges. Coolio and Corey, the two big fraggers here for Budapest 5. Not going to be able to get it done by the looks of things unless Corey can pull something out. But not going to happen. Will get taken down. Endpoint only losing 2 players. Pretty clean pistol.
Yeah, that initial boost into window, getting the kill was a really nice way to start the round. And then once they spot a couple of players on that A side of the map, Endpoint realized because they have that man boosted into window, they can just cut off the rotations or at least hear the rotations between the sites. So as long as there's only 1 or 2 players on B, they can group up over at B pretty comfortably and be able to trade onto the site, especially with the Glocks. Once you get out through the apartments, you can pretty happily move into B there, and you can pretty happily take some closer range fights. So I like that call from Endpoint. I think having that player boosted up into window is so valuable there on that pistol round. Being able to hear those rotations makes a big difference. As soon as they spot 2 players on A, they know they can go B, and they know that they can slow down the rotations. So Budapest 5 will be forced into a force buy in this next round. A couple of scouts for them, alongside some pistols. Endpoint, meanwhile, have got themselves 3 AKs into this round. But you've always got to be a little bit careful in a round like this. The pistols can always be dangerous close range. The scouts can be dangerous long range, but Surreal has already dispatched of one of those scouts early.
Trying to get aggressive. Kind of seeing it from Budito here on the other side of the map. You cast your mind back to those early rounds, right? This is kind of the type of buy that would work pretty effectively back then. Endpoint, though, I think looking to make sure history doesn't repeat itself, let's say. Great little angle here from Budito, though. I think, yeah, that molly does indeed spread to him. Remote coming on top of it, though, and he's going to opt to move up the ladder, try and catch some players off guard. Another Molotov going in, though, to make sure that Budito is fully out of position and put into a bit of an awkward spot. He takes about half his HP as well, but he's back. He really wants to play up on this Palace platform. And maybe after, you know, 2 Molotovs, they feel like it's cleared out, but still Endpoint not quite convinced. Still taking their time. They do have Mighty Max on the other side of the map getting aggressive, trying to find some information, but with 25 seconds thereabouts left, it's starting to get a bit risky, and all the CTs are in on this A site. I think this is going to be an absolute mess if they are not careful.
Oh, this could be bad for them. Yeah, 15 seconds. They've got to be quick here, but Ito gets the kill from the back. Into a 3v3. Torzi with one of his own. Damage being done, and the time is against them here. Torzi just buying more time. The shot's not landing, but there's no time left. Corey gets the kill at the end there. And Budapest 5 go ahead and take themselves that round. Wow, Endpoint taking a lot of time. I think they might have not realized just how little time they had left there, because once Mighty Max realizes B is clear, I think they would have wanted to move back and try and move to the B site, but they just didn't have the time to do that. So they run into the stack, and Budapest 5 get themselves a big round win, because now they've got a chance of building up a bit of a streak of their own on this CT side.
Yeah, definitely a messy one, and I think they'll know it on the Endpoint side of things. They left themselves 15 seconds, Hawker, to like push from ramp, clear the site, and get the bomb down. So definitely making life hard for themselves. See what they can get done in this round, though. Lito does manage to find an opener, but still got to be careful. The buy here, nothing to shake stick out. There's 3 players in on this B site, though, so surely not, you say, but Mighty Max has got other ideas. Flashy left at get right. Has to be careful not to go down too easily here. He will manage to pick up Mighty Max, and he's bought time for the rotation, so there it is. It's only Max to find the frags, and that will mean that Budapest 5 get their 8th on the board, survive with 3 players. Build up a little bit of cash. So starting to close the gap. And Endpoint can't really buy into this one. So we'll be 1 round in it by the looks of things by the time our rifles come out again.
Couple of flashes here from Mighty Max. They're going to go into the A site, and they're just going to try and run out onto A. It's a Glock train, looking to see what it can do, and Corey's missed these first shots. This could be a bit troublesome for him, but he's got assistance, he's got some kills, and it looks like Budapest 5 will be good to go in this round. I was a little worried that maybe they could have got run over on the site there, but Torzi was there to help out. He gets 3 kills with the AWP. And we are back to a close game here. This was Corey, just about staying alive. I think those kills from Torzi are really what make the difference, though. And now there's only 1 round in this game ahead of this next gun round.
All to play for then. Very early on into the second half, getting intense, full of energy. Endpoint were in with a strong start, but not able to convert. May well regret that. Aggression coming in on ramp, and 2 kills, 2 easy kills for the CT side. Endpoint get a taste of their own medicine with that ramp aggression. The bomb going to be dropped as well inside the smoke, mind you, but all the same, risky for Robin to go for it. A great deal of control coming in for Budapest 5 early on.
Yeah, just winning that individual fight. That 1 fight over at ramp is big. That's a big kill back from Robin, though. I think he jumped over the smoke to spot the player and then just lined it up. He gets himself a headshot, and now Budapest 5 aren't as comfortable fighting for ramp. They've got a flank going, though, as does Mighty Max. There's flanks all over the place right now. Max is about to get his free frag, but in comes Coolio. The flank from him is much more impactful. He gets 2 kills, he gets the bomb, and even though Mighty Max had a flank of his own, unfortunately he's got 3 more players to find, and there's a man at CT ready for him. Torzi peeks with the AWP, takes him away, and takes a 10th round for Budapest 5, all tied up in this game.
The hunter becomes the hunted in that round. Who are really not prepared for it, I suppose, especially when you have a player that seems to have pushed through the entire map, but I suppose it comes from the mid side of things. We must have walked past each other at some point, perhaps. Either way, Budapest 5 indeed getting it cleanly on the board. Bit of a missed opportunity there. Oh, on the reface coming in from Surreal, going to go down. An early frag coming in. Meanwhile, out on A, it is only Mighty Max, so they're kind of throwing the old bait and switch. Maybe it was meant to be a bit more of a B play, but Surreal goes down. Max seems a little too early. They're not quite prepared for it. We have had a kill come back here for Thomas. Ooh, Coolio ditching the AWP, leaves himself with a USP. That is not ideal. Where did my M4 go, for goodness sake? What's happened there? Meanwhile, charging into the site, they end up taking it. This is a bit of a crazy one, honestly, Hawker. I'm not quite sure what has happened here. 3 on 3. It looks like Endpoint actually have a decent shoe-in at this round.
Yeah, somehow that timing window works for them, and that molly's not going to spread to Crucial's position in behind the van. He can sit there, but as he jumps on up, Corey's ready for him. Back to a 2v2. Torzi lands a shot close on the site, and Thomas has to go with the Tech 9. First kill's good. He knows there's a man on the bomb. He knows he can just buy time here. The time is ticking, and Thomas gets the kill he was looking for. The Tech 9 in close range gets both those kills, and Endpoint steal away around of their own, just as it looks like Budapest 5 are really getting it going on this comeback. This time it's Endpoint who steal the round win away from them.
That's absolutely massive. You just see here on the replay, right, the early frag, and I think it would have been okay had, I think it was Coolio, right, who ditched the AWP And I think lost his AK in the smoke or whatever. It was a bit of a weird time, and I feel like he's very frustrated at that. Torzi, though, going to come into this round with a vengeance, opening up 2 players in the underpass, 1 at short, so not really much opportunity for Endpoint to trade. There you have it. Budapest 5 in with a lead, but only for a short time before Crucial trades back.
Yeah, this has been a pretty wild second half with both teams losing rounds that they'll probably feel like they shouldn't have. And whenever you get one of these scrappy games, it can just come down to who makes less mistakes at some point. It can just come down to who wins a couple of the most important rounds. And this is one of those important rounds, which currently Budapest 5 are getting the better of. They take the early advantage on the mid trades. 2v3 for Endpoint to come back from, and Robin's been forced forwards by the Flames, but he's going to go for it, and Benito's ready. The AWP holds the angle, and now it's Thomas in a 1v3.
Difficult for Endpoint. As soon as they seem to get away back in, it's just immediately shut out. Seems to be the story of the second half, bearing in mind they've only picked up 2 rounds. But not quite as easy for them here on their T side. Like I said, Budapest 5 definitely more prominent on their CT side of things. Don't really think Thomas is going to be able to find anything. Not enough time to work with, obviously, now, but just in the round itself with no information, the bomb down mid. Just saving his AK into the next round. He's got 1500 as well, and still 3 nades left, so it's not like he takes too much of a hit by missing out on the loss bonus, honestly. Now it's kind of a question of what are the rest of Endpoint going to do to support him. Crucial's got money, but other than that, they don't really have a lot to work with.
Yeah, I think they can just go for the low buy into this one. Thomas's money is just about good enough where he can buy at least decently into the next round with their loss bonus. So I'll take this as a bonus. They'll probably try and set up Thomas for some success with that AK. And not many nades are bought here by Endpoint. Thomas has the majority of the utility right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the pistols lead the charge, though, and then Thomas try and back them up. And Endpoint are looking for mid control right now. They seem to be finding it, but Toolsy's got a kill with the AWP elsewhere. In comes the boost for Robin, hoping to get the timing right on window. Right now, Budapest 5 don't have eyes on this position, at least currently. So Robin can sneak into this position. But we'll see how much he's able to get done, because you can see Benito watching this smoke, just making sure that Robin can't sneak into the back lines. And here comes the fight, which Robin will win with the tech. Nicely done, but Corey's got him from the backside. That's a bit of a shame for Robin. He gets caught off guard.
Yeah, really unlikely fight to be winning, so I'm sure he's a little annoyed at that. Coolio boosted up here on the site. Really tough spot to deal with. Not prepared for it at all. And the rotation's coming in pretty quickly. Thomas, meanwhile, at the back end of things, I think ultimately was not sold on the idea of going B, so just looking to save once again. I don't know. Might be worthwhile to collect his loss bonus and even up that economy with the rest of the team. But at the same time, he's not trying to throw himself into a fight. Here we go. Okay, maybe not. He's looking to just kind of avoid it and save the AK now that there's only 10 seconds left. He does need to be very careful that he doesn't get hunted, but I think he's all good. So, 12th round on the board. Thomas saving once again. They will buy into this round on the Endpoint side. Timeout coming in. Timeout definitely needed. It is not looking good. Their T side has been lackluster to say the least.
Especially with the lead that Endpoint had earlier in this game. I'm sure they'll be feeling like they've let this one slip somewhat, but they've got to just focus on winning these upcoming gun rounds, because they can still absolutely win out here on Mirage. Close scoreline between these two. T-side Mirage is definitely a possibility for them to come through and get some real success. Over on the CT side, we have seen some of the other players step up, but it's still Corey really doing the heavy lifting for Budapest 5. So if he gets taken out of a round, that's when we're going to have to see the rest of the CT side step on up, because Corey's up there at 26 kills. No one else is close to him, and oh, Crucial nearly lines those players up. They go for the ramp aggression again, and Budapest 5 look like they'll get away with it. No fights coming through early into this one.
It's almost as well, I think, for Corey. It's a really good point that you raise in the sense that I'll hold the point because we are going to get a push into Palace here. Thomas, on his own, manages to pick up both of them. That's absolutely huge. That is exactly what Endpoint needed. Torzy to hold things down here from CT, but he is about to have the full force of the entire T side coming his way on the AWP. Oh, going to go into an aggressive position as well. Needs to be very careful. Not going to find anything, though. And a 5-on-2. Sure, they've got a little bit of cash to play with. Actually, not quite as strong as I expected it to be. So yeah, the save is indeed the right idea. And Endpoint will even things back up to 12-12. Neck and neck towards the end of this first map.
Yeah, that's just all about Thomas spotting that Palace aggression. Gets both those kills. That's pretty much round over at that point, as long as Endpoint just make sure to stick together. They know that they can capitalize upon the weakness on the A-bomb site. Budapest 5 have been playing pretty aggressively over on A. They've been trying to push ramp in a couple of rounds. Looked like Endpoint were a little bit more ready for it this time out. And with Thomas getting both those kills, it's just an individual play that pulls them through for the round win. Here it is again. Second headshot so fast. Corey can't get back to safety. And Endpoint bring it back to a 12-12 scoreline. And that's definitely something that Endpoint are capable of. They're capable of having individuals step up with plays like that. Even if Thomas is the man holding, just to get 2 kills there makes all the difference in the round. And as this game goes on, having plays like that win you rounds is really valuable because, well, Crucial's about to do it himself. Gets an entry onto B and he's going for it.
Well then, looking pretty good here across the board. Endpoint revitalized. Sure, Crucial goes down. The trade is nice and quick. Thomas, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, once again, is able to be a nuisance. Benito's in from window, going to get tagged up and finished off by Mighty Max. The plant will come through, and Torzy on the other side of the map is probably going to look to save. Endpoint have found some energy from somewhere. Their second wind towards the tail end of this first map. They will now regain the lead, and for quite some time they had been on the back foot in this second half, and it was only that cushion. I think if it had have ended 8-7 right in that first half instead of 9-6, they won that force by right at the end, it could have been a very different story here in the second half. But that nice comfortable lead that they got, the pistol as well coming in the second half, really helping them just weather the storm somewhat. I don't think they're quite out the other side yet, but it is definitely looking a little brighter in the sky at the moment. Like I say, the lead coming in, only losing 1 player, nice amount of cash built up here. Meanwhile, the CT's not got anything to work with. What are they going to do here? I think they just have to eco and try and play around the AWP.
And it's those last 2 rounds now that have come down to individuals from Endpoint more than anything else. Crucial gets that pick onto B. The rest of the team are ready to follow him up, and he fully commits to it. He knows his teammates are going to trade him out, even if he does go down. So well played by Endpoint there. They were ready to pounce off the back of the pick that Crucial got for them. Now Budapest 5 really need an individual play of their own in this round, and they need it from this man Torzy. He's the only man with really anything worth talking about in this round. He's got the AWP in his hands, and he's got a decent angle to work with here, depending on if Mighty Max peeks him. Ooh, doesn't land the shot though.
That might be his one and only chance in this round. So we'll see here. I think the game plan now moves back to a bit more of a saving kind of idea. Surreal is about to walk into a world of pain if he walks out onto that balcony. Oh, or not. Hits a quick little flick. Of course, that jump nowhere near as safe as it used to be. Nice little molly coming in. Nade to follow up on the damage. Good stuff. Benito is somehow still alive. He's got one leg, one eye or something, but he's still alive, and Surreal's going to peek into the AWP. That might change things up here for Endpoint. They do have Thomas in an aggressive position, an advanced position on this A site, and he's going to see that it's completely clear. So it is indeed the correct call. They are rotating across pretty quickly, so the CT is going to get here just in time kind of thing to perhaps stop them. Robin, meanwhile, going to spray down Corey. A number of flashes coming over the top. Thomas is not quite able to utilize them, however. Torzy doing a bit of team damage onto Flashy there by accident. And now going to decide to save, particularly because Bedito has gotten his hands onto an AK.
Yeah, and this is much more like what Endpoint wanted to do in that previous round, where they ended up running out of time, where Mighty Max was pushing through B. But this time, they get the timing a little bit better for them. As soon as they spot that ups on the B site, they're able to just make the most of it. They're able to just go back over to A. Because they were pushing B a bit faster, they were able to make sure they could rotate back around in time. So Endpoint up to a 14-12 lead, and a timeout taken by Endpoint ahead of this round. Budapest 5, the ones on the back foot, they're the ones that really need this round win. And Endpoint doing pretty well for themselves here on this T side, coming back into this now with a 2-round lead. They've really taken over this game as it's gone the distance here, as it's gone the stretch. They've started to win a couple of really important rounds recently to get themselves to this position. And now they're looking to take it over the line.
Mind games perhaps coming in with the pause as well. Obviously talking things over, but I think Budapest 5 are itching to get into the action as quickly as possible and try and plug these holes, but Endpoint just slowing it down, taking a second, taking a breather. And Budapest 5 left to meddle in their own thoughts. Crucial playing the contact over at B. No one giving him anything. No one wants to be the player to make a mistake in this round on the Budapest 5 side of things. This is, once again, to highlight for you, their map pick. Oh, and it's not going so well in this round. The game itself going to be tough if they end up losing this one. Flashy does get one, but unfortunately traded, and now a 4 versus 3. The call from Budapest 5 is to go for it, but it doesn't look like they're massively committed. They've still got Corey over on A. Thomas as well, lagging behind. Bedito is savvy to the fact he likes to play A, but he's not ready for the fight. He looks at the wrong angle. He gets taken down, and now the remaining 2 players are just going to have to save. Endpoint will get the 15th on the board. Another clean round coming in from them, and the hunt is on. Even the save is not secure for Budapest 5.
Yeah, it feels like Endpoint have figured out that that B site might be the weakness for Budapest 5. I think Endpoint here have done a really good job and a really smart job at just avoiding Corey as much as possible here in this second half. Corey's been playing over on A. He's not been able to get as involved, especially when you see rounds like that play out, where it's just a fast B take. Endpoint get that initial entry, which gets them off onto the right foot on those trade kills. And then Corey has no chance of rotating over in time. He has no chance of having impact on the round, because Corey was having a great game back on that T side, and he would have probably continued that into the CT side, but he hasn't had as many opportunities as he would have liked, because Endpoint have been avoiding him. And now with a 15-12 lead, Endpoint just 1 away from victory. And look at the buy for Budapest 5. It's not ideal for them, but they'll have to just work with what they've got.
These are often the rounds, though. Nice little smoke and an aggressive push coming in. Surreal, meanwhile, up in window, will take out Torzy. The first frag once again for Endpoint. Not looking too good. That is not the start that Budapest 5 wanted. Crucial as well. Going to find the frag onto Bedito. Just in and around, I think above that smoke from short. Robin holding things down from the other side. He does get one before falling, so cannot catch a break right now on the CT side. It'll be a 4 versus 2 to keep them in the game. Again, their map pick, and they're split across the map. No utility, apart from the one smoke. No kits. The bomb's gone down. It's all onto Flashy. He will try it through the smoke, but it's not looking too likely. Bit of damage onto Crucial, but his position 100% known. He manages to find the first onto Surreal, giving himself a bit of a chance, but as the smoke dissipates, Thomas will pick him up. 16-12 Endpoint.
Yeah, 16-12 in the end. Endpoint doing really well here on Mirage, getting the win on their opponent's map pick, doing very well at the end of the game to close it out as well. And now they've got their own map choice to work with. Dust 2 will be coming up next after the break.
Hello everybody, welcome back. We are going to be getting straight into the action here on Dust 2. Endpoint, of course, snatching away just towards the end, finding the energy to pick up that first map. Mirage was the pick of Budapest 5, so we now come onto their map pick, Dust 2. And they've been playing an awful lot of Dust 2 over the past 3 months. They will lose out on the knife round, but I think they're going to be fairly confident coming into this.
Yeah, it's a very, very well-known map to the Endpoint guys. They've been playing a ton of it, whereas Budapest 5, not quite as successful. They've actually played it against Endpoint a couple of times themselves, back when they were going under the name of Salamander, and they lost both those times, but they did take it close on one of them. One of them was a 16-13 loss. So there's signs of life, at least for Budapest 5, but we're going to need to see even more from them here if they're going to win on their opponent's map pick. We're ready to get underway into Dust 2. Let's see what Budapest 5 have to offer, starting up on their T side.
Yeah, definitely going to need to improve on their T side, make a part of their Mirage, and I think the early rounds in the end, you know, taking a while to get that ball rolling definitely did cost them. Going to see a long rush coming in. Crucial backing away. They've got a fair amount of utility to work with here on the T side as well. Surreal trying to pull off a quick flank, but it is being watched. Meanwhile, Budapest 5 have just slowed things way down, lining up the smokes, getting that cross sorted, but Crucial just holding things down. Does manage to find the first or second as well. That one's pretty crispy. Flash coming in, he turns away from it, still as yet to take any damage. They are really not dealing with him. We've got some Julies in here as well from Thomas. Doesn't look like they're going to be needed though. Crucial does eventually go down. There we go, 2 frags coming back for Budapest 5, but they're left incredibly low. Max does get 1. Torzy's left on 7 HP though. Surely not, doesn't happen, and Endpoint will get the pistol.
Yeah, Budapest 5 could just never close the distance here. Crucial landing a couple of shots long range early. That second kill was really nice as well, and they just never really get into a position where the Glocks are that good in those fights. They never really get close enough where you can just start spamming, which is what you're trying to do with the Glocks there. Endpoint dealt with them pretty well. They're able to keep it at range. And now Budapest 5 have decided to take a full save ahead of this second round. It's pretty common to see the second round force buys come in on Dust 2. You can get some scouts, you can get some digs, but it's the Glock train that's going to run over Thomas over at long. I don't know how much more they're going to find here though. Crucial holding, dodges the flashbang, gets some kills, and that is a well-played round by Endpoint, only losing the 1 man.
Yeah, looking really good early on. So Budapest 5 very, very quickly going to have to find their way into things, which is what they are indeed playing for. So the AK's the AWP even for Torzy. It's glass cannon, but you'd hope he'd be able to find something with it. Not going to go for an early shot. Maybe not trying to give away the fact that there's an AWP in play straight away, because obviously there isn't for the CT side, so see how this one turns out. Through lower dark, in towards middle. 2 players so far pushed out. Corey not too far behind. Surreal, however, is going to catch him with the nades in hand. Manages to get 1. Oh, what's going on? What is happening? Surreal, it's absolutely mental. He actually only gets 1 of those kills. 1 of them was a team kill. This has been a crazy start to the first rifle round of Dust 2. Flashy and Torzy, the only ones left. They don't really know what's happened, where their teammates have gone, how it didn't work out. One guy provides such trouble, and now they're left to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable at the start of this round for both teams, really. Team kill for Budapest 5, not the best from Surreal, but at least he gets 1 kill. At least he keeps his composure for 1 frag, because that keeps them in a really good spot. It's only Torzy left now with the AWP. He might be able to move onto the bomb site here. Thomas has been spotted on the ramp. Torsey looking for this fight at elevator, but the flank is coming in the entire time. That's something he has to be aware of. Goes back for this fight. Somehow he's still alive, just trying to land these shots, but he's not able to do so. And Thomas finally goes for the fight, takes it away from him, and takes a nice 3-0 lead for Endpoint at the start of this game. Looking good for them here at the start of Dust 2.
Yeah, I think it could be a bit troublesome if this continues. Like I said, Budapest 5, their T side was kind of the weaker part. They've struggled in the past against Endpoint on this very map. I feel like they at one point were thinking they were going to win that first map, looking really, really comprehensive on their CT side. Nice little nade play here. They're going to go straight through the Molotov. Two quick kills coming in. All right. Here we go. Not a single trade coming back. Crucial is nice and close. Does get one. It's still going to be really, really tough. Sure, they've got the weaker weaponry, but they've managed to recover an M4 and AK as well. This is a lot more doable for Budapest 5 in this kind of a round. The super fast push onto B catches off the initial defenders. But it is brought back even, so Endpoint looking to fight their way back onto the B bomb site.
And they're going to go for this, but the time is not really on their side. Crucial remains pretty far away from the site itself, but in comes Thomas and Robin. The AKs both coming on through, but Ito pushes through mid, and the time is so far gone. He's just got to delay. Another kill with the MAC-10, and Robin just does not have the time. He gets the kill, but he's not going to get the round. Budapest 5 win on the fast B play, and Robin even dies to the bomb at the end there. Such a shame for Endpoint. After getting onto a good start in this game, they just get run over at the B site early. We barely even got to see how those kills came in because they were so fast. But Budapest 5 clearly had a good spawn for B. They made the most of it. And now this is a chance for Budapest 5 to make their mark on Dust 2 early here, because both teams are buying what they can into this round. But it's Endpoint who are getting the worst of it. It's Endpoint who have a couple of players stuck on pistols.
Ooh, big damage coming in. Pedito is going to manage to find that kill onto Crucial. Double spray down from Thomas coming in, though. He swaps across to the AWP. A brilliant opener coming in to turn things completely on its head. Flashy is left so low from that earlier tag as well, and Thomas is looking to take this round into his own hands as he gets himself a third. Budapest 5 are locked out. Perhaps a B rush is all they can muster at this point, making a lot of noise here towards the lower tunnels. There's two players to deal with. Get your gun out, Torsey. He will manage one, but he's traded immediately. And Endpoint straight back in with a fourth.
Lineup from Thomas was so nice. Sometimes things just align for you, and this was one of those rounds for Thomas. Ended up picking up the AWP to do even more damage at the end there. And so even though Endpoint falter in the previous round, they quickly make up for it. And they force Budapest 5 back down to pistols. Double up setup now in the hands of Crucial and Surreal on the CT side. And Thomas playing the similar position, but he was boosting his teammate who's just lost out. Torsey with a really nice shot at the start of this one, but Robin replies with a good spray transfer of his own. Still could be a close round though. Budapest 5 showing some prowess with these pistols.
Definitely, you know, have these individuals that we've talked about, but I think it's always kind of plagued this squad when they were Salamander as well. They kind of struggle to utilize those individuals properly, I would say. I mean, it's kind of difficult. Corey is always one that comes to mind, of course. Does get the head of one, ahead of the second, so never can be written off with the Deagle. He does have armor to play with and could get his hands onto a rifle. Robin is also low. With the bomb going down, things become a lot more interesting here for Corey.
He's going to stay on the bomb site. He doesn't know exactly where the CTs are coming from, but he's got another kill. He doesn't realize Mighty Max is also at long, though. So unfortunately for Corey, he gets blindsided by the last man. But wow, did that come close from Corey. And even just getting that kill onto the site and getting the bomb down is already nice to get the extra cash. And more importantly, to keep Endpoint's economy low. Because earlier we saw Endpoint have to go down to some pistols. We saw them have some issues with their money. And with only saving one gun from this round, Endpoint's money is going to be on the edge here. They're going to have to invest basically everything on the CT side. So just getting those kills could make a big difference if Budapest 5 can now go on to win this round.
Yeah, they are setting themselves up well, but a few more pieces to the puzzle. Endpoint firmly in the driver's seat. Always say it's really difficult to replicate those kind of fast pistol rounds, and we're seeing that from Budapest 5. Nice little flash coming in. Oh, Corey's just been spotted creeping up to short there. At the very least, that information is in. Double up setup here from Endpoint. Deep nade coming in. Corey going to take all that damage. So he's gotten himself onto short, but at what cost? Not really able to find anything off of it, and Budapest 5 getting locked out by some late utility. Bedito trying to get aggressive here. This is dangerous.
I feel like using that smoke on the floor there gives away that you're probably thinking of pushing mid. Normally that sort of smoke is not used too often, but here we go. Crucial's burning on the B site. Mighty Max gets traded out, but Crucial is not going to get anything going here on the B-bomb site. That Molotov was really causing issues for him. He couldn't assist his teammate on the hold, and Endpoint gets shut out of the B site. The trades go the way of Budapest 5. The fast mid to B pays off. Crucial there was watching mid to begin with, but he rotated back to B. He was playing on the bomb site with his teammate, and unfortunately that didn't really bear any fruits for him. He couldn't find an angle to work with, and it has to be a save for Endpoint. A bit of early success from Budapest 5 on that B side of the map here.
Definitely needs to be sorted out by Endpoint for sure. Yeah, Budapest 5, I think the thing is, you know, you move on to that B bomb site, it does become a massive battle of individuals. And as we've said, T side have some really, really strong ones, and definitely showing it in the couple rounds that they have managed to pick up. Oh, if he had just pulled the trigger, going for a boost up over the smoke here. Drop down to suicide though, so they've got to be a little wary of the fact nothing coming in early on. They kind of needed that on the Endpoint side as well. You know, you look at the buy, the AWP is, of course, the crown jewel. Definitely a workable buy here, but a nice early pickup would have been great.
Smoke deployed by Surreal, but Budapest 5 are focused on short right now. Endpoint repositioning on the A site, figuring out where they want to play. Thomas is going to go ahead and move into Goose, while Surreal's going to stay on the ramp. There's lots of mollies available here for Budapest 5. If they were to push the A site, you'd think they'd use some of those nades, and they are going to commit to this just off the back of the flash. Quick kill comes in, and Robin in CT has got 2 players lined up for him. The bomb's been dropped down as well, so Budapest 5 need to get some quick kills, and it's not happening for them. Torzy's the last man left. He's already been dinked. And this round for Budapest 5 just does not go their way. They were relying on that flashbang to make a big difference there. And as soon as that doesn't blind Surreal, he lands the shot, and Robin just gets this easy lineup.
Really good stuff from Endpoint then, as once again they are able to bounce back pretty damn quickly. Budapest 5, I think this time around, if I remember correctly, last time didn't really have the cash to fight back, but they do this time. So certainly got to be careful, but a good number of flashes coming over the top. It's Corey to try and pick up the pieces here. They've lost 2, they've traded 1. So still a man advantage therefore for Endpoint, and they're not really able to push out. Don't know how many more people are around, don't want to lose any more of their manpower. So looking really good here once again for Endpoint. Nice bit of proactivity over at long. Works really well. Smoke coming in, going to put a real crimp in the plans. Oh, but Thomas, he's caught in transition. He's not quite ready for them to just push through it. And now back into a 3-on-3. So suddenly, Budapest 5 have got a bit more of a doable situation, particularly because Crucial is alone on the A site, and he's also losing teammates. The numbers are dwindling for Endpoint. Budapest 5 are clawing their way back into this round.
Yeah, nice heads-up play from Corey to begin with. Just realized he could sneak through that smoke. He could get the timing right. And all of a sudden, Budapest 5 are the ones looking good. But oh no, they're not ready for crucial. Quick kill with the AWP, and Corey has to get this kill, and he will. Well played by Budapest 5. Even if they overlook that position, Corey makes up for it by getting that frag. And this was a big round from Corey, again stepping up today. The timing against Thomas there was the main thing. Realized he could just sneak through that smoke. And if anything, Thomas throwing that smoke, it actually ends up being costly for him, because he thinks that that position's pretty clear. He thinks they're not going to push that smoke. It ends up being the opposite situation for him. He wasn't ready for that fight. He ends up losing it. Budapest 5 go on to win the round. And now they've got a chance to try and turn it into a win streak, because Endpoint have fully forced here, but this is not an ideal buy script. I think it's fair to say. Scouts and Deegs are all that Endpoint can muster into this one.
Yeah, definitely not ideal at all. And also the way that they've set up their defense, it leaves Long, it leaves the A site very vulnerable. So looking more likely that it's going to be a retake scenario. Robin walks straight into the crosshair of Badito. Thomas also going to fall. That'll be the A site, folks. There is a player in behind here, but Max is not quite given a good enough opportunity to find that frag, unfortunately. Not confident in himself. Should have just gone for the Deeg. Meanwhile, Flashy is being a huge nuisance here, finding another frag out on the B-bomb site and looking, I think, to deny all these pistols, all these scouts away where he can, take the armor away, and leave Budapest 5 in a really, really, really strong position to, once again, similar to Mirage, close the gap in this first half as much as they possibly can. And it is looking good for them to do so. Mighty Max in an off angle here at the blue bin. Coolio, however, up the stairs, able to deal with him nice and quick. So just Surreal remaining. So there you are, Budapest 5 in with a flawless round. Sure, they're not going to find anyone by the everyone, sorry. Ooh, almost Surreal. Maybe spoke a bit too soon, but nonetheless, don't find every single frag, but they find enough of them. They don't lose a single player, and they are indeed set to get a fifth.
Yeah, they should be able to get this one pretty much every time. Torzi, okay, somehow loses that fight against Surreal. Great shot from the scout, but Benito's ready for this push through mid. He's low on health, though. He's got to be careful. Mighty Max gets another frag. Endpoint here doing decently well on these initial trades. And Budapest 5 are going to focus on A long, focus on the A bomb site. They should be able to cross here pretty safely. Mighty Max, oh, and Surreal there with the scout. All of a sudden, Budapest 5 need to be very careful here. 2v3 for them. They still have the weaponry advantage, but they don't want to be throwing this one away. And Surreal's still got that scout. He's still focused on these fights. Flashy looking for it with the AWP. They just can't land these shots right now. They're trying to cross to the site. It's uncomfortable, but finally Coolio gets his way onto the site, and that should allow the safe bomb plant.
Ooh, just about. The molly spreads to him, and it will take him down. He thought he was lucky. He thought he was going to be away from it. Flashy not able to land anything, and he will get picked up as well. So there you are. Endpoint in with the 7th once again. Able to bounce back in relatively good fashion, but in a round where they had no right in doing so. Budapest 5 will be absolutely kicking themselves, as that is a massive round given away to Endpoint, and allowing them again to retain their lead fairly comfortable. Not quite closing the gap as well as they did on Mirage. Sure, they have the money, they get the bomb down deep into the coffers to facilitate this on the T side, but all the same, they managed to get it out, but at what cost, right? I don't think they're too bothered economically being on the T side. It's all good, it's a lot easier. It's more about picking up the rounds, and that is one they should have got. They didn't, and now Endpoint are in with a pretty solid chance to start running away with this first half.
Robin here. Just got to be careful, because Corey, wow, moves through the smoke. He's been making plays all day long. He makes another one here, but surely Robin's got him from behind. Yeah, Corey caught not realizing Robin was so close by. But Budapest 5 up the pace onto the A-bomb site, and they've got themselves the kills they needed. Endpoint aren't in position to deny this A side of things. Budapest 5 are gonna get this bomb down in a 3v3, and that smoke landing on short could lock Endpoint out. That's gonna be a problem. They've got to go through it, and Benito is ready for them. 2 kills on the spray, and Mighty Max gets traded out. Well played by Budapest 5. They take another round.
Bit back and forth in these past few rounds, isn't it? A little crazy between these two teams. So Endpoint going to be really, really, really thankful of the way that things started for them on this map. But again, on a stringy buy that they've got to try and make work. It has been successful for them in places. It's Max on the AWP, and he's not going to find too much early on, but Surreal, of course, finding the head of Flashy through the double doors there. Meanwhile, out on towards B. It's a little messy, but they managed to indeed take the site. Coolio in with 2. And now the rest of Endpoint left to pick up the pieces. Goodness me, one of those bullets was incredibly close to finding Torzi's head. But not going to be the case this time around. So the 1 frag coming in, it will be Budapest 5 in with the 6th. No crazy back and forth. Seems they have found a bit of stability.
Benito, here's the steps. It's not ready for him. Good headshot from Benito, making sure Robin has no chance of getting that kill. As you said, this is Budapest 5 finding a bit of consistency now on their T side with this round win. An opportunity to build up even more round wins. They've been putting some on the board recently. Here's those entries coming in. Corey doesn't get either of those kills. It was Coolio who stole them both away from him. That doesn't matter too much. Budapest 5 get their 6th round on the board. And only a couple of rifles saved over by Endpoint. Crucial and Thomas with the 2 rifles into this round. Benito's going to go for the early pick at A long, but there's no one there to stop him. And at Budapest 5, just need to be careful they don't get caught by any early aggression here. We saw the scout of Surreal in a previous round do damage to them. So they've got to make sure these rifles don't catch them out. And at Crucial already backing on up.
I think that's kind of the primary goal, or the realistic goal, let's say, is to just try and get these rifles out. But you never know. I mean, a lot of pressure on A from both teams. Could be an absolute bloodbath, and they're a little kind of stacked up, all looking at the same angle. They're really going to have to be careful here. The AWP is trying its best in the hands of Torzi to, you know, find the back of someone or someone's arm. But unfortunately, it's not really happening. Endpoint have set themselves up really, really well. Mighty Max gets aggressive. He manages to find one. Corey, though, is crept in, and this is where I think things fall apart. Thomas does find a kill. Tries to get away, not going to happen. And Budapest 5 have indeed come in with the damage control. 7-7, Endpoint once again letting their lead slip slightly in this first half. Obviously, a lot of conversation around the first half and how it's a lot less important, particularly if it is as close as it is right now. But still, they had a hefty advantage, not quite able to see it through to its fullest potential, unfortunately.
Lower tunnels control for Budapest 5 to begin this round, working their way towards mid. Again, Budapest 5 crossing up to short there without using any nades. There is a bit of a risk that you get picked by an AWP, but I guess in this round they're aware that Endpoint's money might not be good enough for that. They're only against the rifles this time round. Smoke deployed by Corey. Plenty of utility left for Budapest 5. Just feigning a bit of presence here on the A side of the map, using a full set of utility. But the rest of the team on the Budapest 5 side are much more focused on this B site. They found a lot of success here so far. This is where we need to see Endpoint step up on the hold. Surreal holding the tunnels early, but in comes the flank. Benito's got the timing right. This B play has been so successful for Budapest 5, and Corey on the flank gets even more damage. This is not looking good for Endpoint.
Definitely Budapest 5 have started to really pick things up towards the tail end of this first half. This kind of worry you ever so slightly. Their CT side pretty effective over on Mirage. We'll see. It is Endpoint's map pick.
There we go.
Can kind of say it's a little more edged out towards that T side, although it is sort of difficult, I think, at the moment to fully give dust to a side advantage, particularly, of course, with the Krieg moving out of prominence.
Yeah, I think that the B site hold was a bit of an issue throughout that half for Endpoint, in all honesty. There were quite a few rounds where they ended up losing either to fast B plays against pistols or with those B splits coming in. I think that was because oftentimes they were playing two players on the B site itself, and they didn't really have anyone able to slow the mid push down. They weren't able to slow that mid part of the B split down. So you saw in that last round the real example of that, where they just arrived so quickly from mid, you can't delay them because you don't have anyone focused on mid to begin with. So those B players are just in a really tough position where they're having to get flanked out pretty quickly. They're having to fight all those angles. Endpoint had a few struggles throughout the half holding that B site at times, but overall, it's still a decent CT side for them. Like you were saying, I think they'll be okay with 7 rounds on the board, and they'll head into their T side on a map they're comfortable on, thinking that they can probably still get the better of their opponents here. Even if it was a bit of a slow end to the half, it's still not the end of the world for Endpoint, and I'm sure they'll be aware of that.
Certainly. We'll see now moving into this second half. Whether Budapest 5 can continue with their momentum or whether Endpoint are going to come in with a strong showing here. And it looks like they're going to start off, or at least want to start off, with a strong pistol. But then Budapest 5 have got an awful lot of utility of their own as well. So classic long hit coming in here from the T side. Torzi are ready for this push down lower tunnels, but Surreal not quite biting just yet. Playing it nice and passive, nice and safe. Going to try and get his timing perfect as, of course, the smoke's coming in. The flash through the smoke, absolutely perfect, but Benito is only able to get one. He actually gets traded back there. Surreal, meanwhile, still in lower dark. Coolio through the smoke takes out Crucial. That's gotta hurt. It's a man advantage for Budapest 5, and Surreal is not quite able to find the frags onto these rotators that he was looking for. He certainly bought time, though. But directly on the A side itself, Hawker, it's a 4 versus 2, so this could be real troublesome for Endpoint if they're not careful. Robin's already gone down. It's Thomas kind of all by himself, and unfortunately no ammo. Just managed to get that frag a second as well. He's done well on that front, but the kit's going to get on the bomb pretty quickly here, surely, and I think Surreal, he's not going to be able to do anything. The bomb just defused. He's not even going to get a single frag. Oh, Endpoint. Absolute disaster.
Yeah, I thought Thomas was screwed as soon as he switched weapons, but he somehow fights his way out of it for a couple of kills at least. Tries to set up his teammate, but look at the buy into this next round for Endpoint. They've got themselves a couple of AKs. It's a very similar buy here on both sides. Because Endpoint got that bomb down, they can force up, and they can continue to compete into this one. Thomas has this AK, and he's already crossed it. They're not ready for him. Nice kill from Thomas. A dink lands by Torzi, I think while he was in midair, but it's not going to matter too much. Thomas is only down to half health, and a nice advantage at the start of this round for Endpoint.
Catch ahead. Oh, Crucial. Not quite able to do so. And Flashy will dip out, as it were. Trying to put a lot of pressure onto middle here. They'll find Surreal. It's kind kind of well done. They sacrificed a bit of control over at A, but of course Endpoint, they don't have the utility, and Corey is abusing that fact massively, just coming in with so many frags. It looked good for Endpoint initially, but Budapest 5, they've pulled it back. A good number of tags from Crucial coming in here. He's going to be frustrated he doesn't get a single frag in that situation. But a 10th round for Budapest 5. They're looking good on their CT side, and Endpoint are very quickly here letting things slip away slightly. The second half has not started off very well at all.
After getting that initial pick, Budapest 5 just reply with some aggression, and once they clear out the tunnels and mid, it's just a really tough position for Endpoint to be in, because like you were saying, if they had nades, they would have been okay, but without the nades, they struggled to move on to 8, and now the pistols in this round are struggling again. But Ito getting a couple of nice kills at mid should be good for these further fights as well. There we go, lines up the headshot he was looking for. And Thomas will be looking for maybe a couple of kills at the end here. Anything else is unlikely though. Spots the first man, gets dealt with. Budapest 5 keep all of their 5 alive. 11-7 lead for them. A bit of money being built up as well on the CT side. It's all looking pretty good for the Hungarians right now.
Endpoint on their map pick then need to really turn things around here. It is starting to become a big problem. Budapest 5 with a pretty hefty lead early on into this second half. And Endpoint has yet to get a foot in the door. What is the plan? I like this. Some deep smokes coming through. Give them a bit of control of short. I think they were trying to find the frag there. Oh, the timing for Thomas is almost terrible, but he does manage to get one, almost picking up Flashy. That's a pretty good exchange early on. Sure, it's a 1-for-1. Normally give that to the T side anyway, but leaving the remaining B player so very low, this is going to be difficult. He ends up falling, and I think now the retake completely off the cards, surely, yeah, and they know it. Budapest 5 just going to look to save. So there you have it. Endpoint with a nice bit of individual heroics coming through from Thomas. Managed to get their 8th on the board. First round of the second half as well. Let's see if they can turn it into a few more.
Yeah, the tunnel's aggression giveth, and the tunnel's aggression taketh away in this round. The previous round, the tunnel's aggression was really nice for the CTs. It got them some good information, some good map control. They were able to really win the round in part off the back of that. But when you go for it too often, you can leave that B site very vulnerable. And even though Thomas nearly got caught, like you were saying, recovering for that 1 kill makes a pretty big difference, because then Endpoint can start to line up that B split. The one man that's left on B has to focus again on both positions, which is just not really possible. So he tries to isolate the fight in tunnels. Crucial was ready for him. Pretty easy kill with the AWP. And that leads to the round win. So Endpoint get themselves a nice and easy round on the board to start things off on their T side. They'll be hoping that they can get more easy round wins just like that, as they send a couple of players into the tunnels at the start of this round again. No boost for Torzi here, so he's not going to be able to peek into lower tuns, just having to hold mid right now.
Certainly interesting. It seems like he's called for one though, eh? He's heard you, mate. He says, you know what, Hawker, that's a pretty good idea, actually. I think I'll get myself a frag off the back of it. Nice little flick to pick up Surreal, and there you have it. An opening exchange goes the way of Budapest 5, and now Endpoint once again on the back foot. Feels a little rough for them. Cannot catch a break, unfortunately, and I think Budapest 5 going to look to work off of this advantage pretty effectively. Endpoint grouped up outside of B. Definitely do seem to have an idea that the B bomb site is a lot more vulnerable than other areas of the map, so see what the plan is here, but they don't really have any control to work with. They don't have much information. 45 seconds left. They've got to go for something, and they just don't have a lot to work with. I think it's going to be a really tough round for them.
Oh, Molotov landed in the smoke there, but Endpoint are on their way to the B-bomb site. Thomas gets an important trade kill, and he gets a follow-up frag. Missed shot from Flashy is so costly there. Thomas does go down, but in comes the trade from Robin. He's got a smoke out, but Coolio is there before the smoke blooms. And it's up to Crucial with the AWP to get both these kills. He knows there's a player close by, but he's not going to find him. Torzi comes away with it. And Endpoint there got themselves into a decent position, but the rest of the follow-up for Thomas was just a little bit late. I think if they arrived a few seconds sooner, they would have been okay. But unfortunately, those few seconds can make all the difference in Counter-Strike, and Budapest 5 are able to win the round.
Indeed. Timing definitely not there for Endpoint. I think they weren't quite ready for Thomas's play. So very unfortunate in that sense, but that's the nature of the game. That's often how it goes, you know? So need to be careful. See here, really getting down to the wire, honestly. I feel like Endpoint are locked out pretty heftily of the second half. Mid to B split coming in with a heavy emphasis on the mid. Corey is sat inside the smoke, maybe waiting for a flash. Timing going to be absolutely everything, though. Flashy does pick up Thomas. Flashy still alive at the back of the site, eventually getting traded. It's Corey who comes in, however, with the perfect timing, right? When half the team's on the site, half the team still in and around middle. Gonna go down, and it looks like a 1 versus 3 for Crucial. I'm not sure whether he fancies his chances. He's got the one flash. He is on the AWP. He does manage to get the bomb down. Timing going to be absolutely everything. Finds the first, gets the second as well. Uh-oh. Now into the 1 versus 1 against Torzy. AWP versus AWP. He's brought it down this far, just playing it nice and patiently, not over-peaking things, waiting for Torzy to come to him. He is going to start to get a little restless, though. Torzy will drop, moving in and around the box. Torzy up close and personal, but Crucial gets the no-scope, gets the 1v3, and the 9th round for Endpoint.
Damn, Crucial stepping up in the clutch. Those first 2 shots in quick succession. Doesn't have to think about those ones too much, but at the end here, it was all about the mind games, all about how you were going to play the 1v1, and Crucial remained calm, remained confident. Even though his opponent was trying to make him peek into the open, he knew that he could just sit back, and he lands the no-scope at the end there. And I was a bit worried that with the way Endpoint were playing, so focused on this B site, I was worried that Crucial was going to struggle to get involved in quite a few of these early rounds. But man, does he step up for his team, winning Endpoint a big round. And I think that's been one of the differences between these two teams, is that Endpoint have had more individual plays, more flashy plays across the board. I think that made it a pretty big difference over on Mirage. And if that can start to come through on Dust 2 as well, that's when you start to become a little bit worried for Budapest 5. Because we know some of these Endpoint players can be very, very good when they hit their peak.
All right, back into the action shortly then. As Endpoint, they did manage to find a bit of energy. That second wind on Mirage brought them through to the victory there. See whether it does the same here against same team, of course, on a very different map in the form of Dust 2. But their pick, something that we expected them to pretty effectively blow out, honestly. They've been playing a lot of it, as we said at the top of the map. And particularly against Budapest 5, it seems to go pretty well for them most of the time. So, but it has come close recently, I seem to remember you saying. So maybe Budapest 5 have put some work into this map, particularly into this matchup. And it is kind of showing. It is kind of showing if they have put that work in. Tough buy for them into this round, though, Hawker. I think Endpoint are in with a really good chance of not only closing the gap, but also breaking the economy of the CT side.
This is a good opportunity for Endpoint to really get this rolling. Nice shot from Torzy on the hold, though. Flash is not really landing onto him. There's no more flashes for them to work with, but Torzy misses the shot anyway. Corey at the back of the bomb site has got to step up, and he will. 2 nice kills from Corey. And Surreal is going to do what he can to keep his team in this round, but Robin was really far away from the action. Only now is he arriving to the site. The Swede coming through, but Corey gets a 3rd kill from the site itself. They just cannot get that man out of there. Budapest 5 up to a 13th round win. Solid hold across the board. And now Endpoint's money is called into question. This is not where Endpoint want to be right now, Scriv.
Kind of a tough time, honestly. Sure, it's hard, and they do have a buy to work with, but Corey, right? He gets overlooked, and he really shouldn't. A molly, or even just a flash to have a quick look round that corner, or even just the first guy checking it so you can trade nice and easily. I suppose it's a bit tough for them, though, moving into the A site, but definitely a few mistakes from Endpoint in that round costing them. By the looks of things, like you said, not just that round, probably this one as well. Tag for tag there, over at middle. Nothing much coming so far, though, from either side. It's a little... I wouldn't say a slow round. Endpoint have been taking a lot of peaks, but in terms of the frags, it definitely has not been the flashiest, the loudest round. We do need to be careful here. These pistols, particularly the Deagles, nothing... right home about, but at the same time you've got to give them an awful lot of respect on that CT side. 50 seconds left. Endpoint going to start to make a move. Ooh, and the molly, the smoke, sorry. No, it was a molly. They've got 2 AWPs out. It's a little hard to follow on the hood, but all the same, the molly could have made all the difference there. The AWP got to be very, very careful. Run boost coming in. Torzy does manage one, peeking around, and Corey also helping out. 3k for him, 2k for Torzy. Impenetrable defense. 14th picked up for Budapest.
Yeah, Torzy making that look nice and clean. Quick kills in and around that ramp position. And as you said, he had the support as well of Corey, who has continued his great form throughout this series. Corey's been really good as well on the edge of some of these smokes. There was that earlier round where he was able to play from CT. He was able to push through at the right time. At the start of this round, though, Endpoint have got themselves A-long control right from the get-go. Budapest 5 not fighting for A-long. Instead, they decide to focus their attention on short, and Endpoint are just walking up long right now.
Something a bit different. The close smokes, maybe not to be expected here. Nade goes in, but not going to do as much. They have kind of abandoned the A site, though. They're happy to go for the retake. Which is definitely interesting. The molly's going to burn in and do a bit of chip damage there onto the Endpoint boys. The bomb does indeed go down. We'll see how this goes. A full 5-on-5 retake. Thomas coming in from behind, though. Will manage to find Badito. Bit of a tap spray. Not super effective. He will be dealt with pretty quickly, though. I think he needed to stay alive perhaps slightly longer. Has bought some time and a frag. But we'll see. This is such a weird situation right now. And Budapest 5, I think, don't quite know how to approach it with so many players still left alive on both sides. They're finding trades, but they're sort of not really sold on the idea. Crucial nearly going down to the molly, but it's all good. They're looking to save anyway. He does go down. So it's a 10th for Endpoint, but it's a fairly costly one.
Double up setup will be saved over on the CT side. Endpoint, though, just able to walk up A long, and then, yeah, Budapest 5 not really rotating over to A fast enough. They started getting kills on their retake attempts. They had utility to use, which could have been really useful. You saw that Molotov at ramp forced Crucial into the open. If they were there maybe 20 seconds sooner with those nades, they could have maybe used those to get some kills, but a bit too slow on the rotate, and here comes the fight for long this time round. Corey's been caught out. Crucial with 2 kills. Flashes over the top, making the difference for Endpoint, and with a 5v3 lead early in this round, at this point, this is Endpoint's round to lose.
Looking really, really good for them then, as they seem to have kind of once again found that energy. Might be too little too late this time around. But we'll see. Budapest 5 still got a shoe in at this round as well. The double up setup still in play. 5-on-3. Nothing really coming their way. It's a strange and difficult situation right now. Real has to be very careful, but they're not really giving anything away on the Endpoint side of things. They are going to group up outside B, and I would imagine go for the hit eventually. Flash comes in, and Flashy is not able to look away from it. Another one over the top there. He does get one from the double stack. A tough spot to deal with as he gets a second. The rotation starts to come in. Endpoint not like this. What has happened? They've not found a single frag on the B-bomb site. And all the rotations are here. Crucial's on the other side of the map. There's only 30 seconds left. He's got a 1 versus 3, and it looks like Budapest 5, despite not having the manpower, will get their 15th.
Wow. Endpoint will be kicking themselves with this round not going their way. Budapest 5 had to land basically every single AWP shot, and they're able to do it. Flashy there just isolates a couple of fights on B, and then Torzy being so close by was probably a bit of a surprise for Endpoint. I don't think they would have been expecting that second AWP to arrive so soon, but he's able to get into position. Here are those shots again from Flashy. Gets that first man, gets this second one, and then this is where the other AWP just arrives at the doors. Budapest 5 made sure they had a bit of a gamble, a few players close to that B site, and it makes all the difference as Endpoint now have to win this round, and they only have one AK to try and do it.
It is going to be a hell of a task. Forced by themselves into oblivion, hope that they can win. A fast early pressure coming in here, but nothing too much. Double nade there, I believe, and Badito getting aggressive to find that kill onto Mighty Max. Looks like we might just need that third and final map, to be honest, Hawker. Thomas has got other ideas, though, as he will manage to trade one back. Real and Torzy kind of playing chicken in at middle. Nothing coming off of that. Still a man advantage for the Budapest 5.
Yeah, the Budapest 5 may not have kept all of their 5 alive, but they've got the advantage. They can be called the Budapest 4 for the rest of this round, because they've got themselves into a good position either way, and Endpoint are going to use what little nades they have to try and close the distance onto this A-bomb site. Flashbang not successful. Torzy's able to dodge away from them. Nice flick from Torzy. Almost gets the second man, but it's Coolio who's set up for success. It's all on Thomas. 1v3. He gets the first kill onto the site, but in comes Corey. Well played by Budapest 5, and we will be going to a third map, Scriv.
Yeah, it was a really surprising turn of events, honestly. Endpoint, it comes close in the first half, sure, but not able to deal with the Budapest 5 CT side at all. Endpoint kind of not as impressive as I thought their T side was going to be on a map that they've played an awful lot of recently. So really losing it on that second map, on their map pick. So it's definitely a weird series here, folks. Do be sure to stick around, though. We've got Inferno coming up after the break. All right, welcome back, folks. We are getting into Inferno. It's come all the way down, of course, to the third and final map. All great best of threes end in Inferno, as they always say. Both these teams taking away each other's map picks, so it has been an interesting turn of events in that sense. And now we come onto a map that's a little bit more middle ground for both of them, so it should be a really fun end here. Of course, joined by Hawker again. I don't know how you're feeling about this one coming into the final map. I feel like Budapest 5 might just have enough momentum and energy from that second map, to carry them through here.
Yeah, there's definitely the possibility for that. I think seeing them really show up individually in some of those rounds especially was a big deal, because Endpoint had quite a few of their own rounds where they were having individual plays that really carried them through. And finally, we saw some more of that from Budapest 5. We saw some more team play across the board. Corey had a bit more assistance over on Dust 2. So heading into Inferno, if that can continue, they've got a pretty good chance here. I want to see if they can keep it up, though. It is going to be Endpoint starting on that T side, while Budapest 5 start on the CT side of things as we get underway into Inferno.
Some early shots being taken in middle, but nothing quite landing. Meanwhile, Endpoint here grouping up in second mid, moving their way out towards brackets. P250 hero in the form of Crucial. Nothing coming as yet. Now they're going to rotate back towards the B side, where there's two players at the top end of Banana they've got to contend with. So going to be real tough time. Julio will peek out, gets spammed all the way down by all those Glocks and the P250 coming in. Corey, meanwhile, backs off towards the site, gets the head of two so very quickly. Corey, oh my goodness, is absolutely unstoppable. 4 kills coming in. Blink and you'll miss it. Mighty Max the only one left. What has happened? Endpoint. It looked so good for them. The initial frag went their way. Mighty Max now left to clutch it out, and he might just get it done. Mighty Max, oh my goodness, spins around for the third. What has happened? A crazy pistol coming in. Eventually, Endpoint clean it up, but oh my god. I don't believe what I've just seen.
Yeah, it's an absolute madness in the pistol round. Mighty Max here turning onto all 3 of these players. It's so fast on all those frags. But Corey in the first place was so fast on his kills. He did such a great job at getting all those lined up. It looked like Corey had done enough, but Mighty Max had other ideas, spinning round for all those fights. Budapest 5 didn't even do too badly at peeking him together there. It's just because Mighty Max was so quick on the kills that he was able to turn it into those 1v1 fights. And what a start to this game. That is something special, Scrib. I hope we get to see more of that.
I do too. I do too. I feel like Budapest 5 might want to see a little less of it, though. Gonna eco things out here. Corey, of course, finding all those frags, has a bit more extra money, so he's able to get himself a deagle into this, but nothing really being invested here by the Budapest 5, and kind of fair enough. I mean, Corey's looked pretty good on the deagle, so credit to him. See what they're able to find here. There is only the one player on the A site, actually, so not going to be an awful lot, I don't think. Julio hidden away, gets chased down, locked up, and now the rotation's going to come through via Banana. And Thomas will be the first port of call on his Mac 10. The range not working for him there, does get taken down, but at least the information comes in and they should be able to clean this up. A lot of bodies to contend with. Not going to happen. Endpoint get a clean second on the board.
A little bit more standard this time round. Not quite as crazy as the pistol. Good work from Endpoint, though, to get that second round on the board either way. But in come the full guns for Budapest 5. M4s across the board. Decent utility as well for the CTs, so they can use some nades early on Banana. They can try and fight for this Banana control, and that's exactly what Benito will be doing. Runs through the smoke. Molotov forces them away, but they go for a boost, so they continue to fight for Banana. But it's the A side of the map that Endpoint are focused on. Making a fast move up into short, looking to use their nades onto this site. And it seems like Endpoint are about to pull the trigger here.
Just a second, Molly coming through. I don't think quite reaches to Coolio there. He does take a big chunk of nade damage, but yeah, the Molly on the wrong side of the wall. He's actually still going to be present in pit, and they might not expect it. You said they were about to pull the trigger. It seems they have done so ever so slightly, but nothing really happening just yet for Endpoint. More damage being done here. Eventually a kill comes in. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Still really difficult to tell like what is going on and who is coming out on top. Endpoint are just grouping up outside of this A site around bracket, sure, but now the rotation coming in from the B side. They're going to want to stick around. They're approaching the A site from a different avenue. It's all going to be from short right now, which is a nice little read. They do indeed have more pressure on that long side of things. And Robin coming in with the MAC-10 gets a double kill. The bomb plant comes through. Torzy, meanwhile, get taken down. And Corey now the only one left who's just going to look to save. Endpoint in with a third round. Another clean one from them as well.
They don't commit to the very quick push, but they slow it down and they still get all the kills necessary. Nicely done by Endpoint. Robin picking up a couple of frags. And the Budapest 5 bodies litter the A-bomb site. They had 4 players ready. They had a stack available. The early banana control allowed Budapest 5 to put most of their players over on 8. But they're still unable to hold it. So Endpoint off to a good start on Inferno. They can try and put that Dust 2 game behind them and just focus on this map. And a good bit of money will be built early here by Endpoint on their T side. 4 staying alive in that round again. So the economy really is rolling now for Endpoint. Can't say the same for Budapest 5 though. Other than the saved rifle for Corey, the rest of the players stuck down on pistols in this next round.
Certainly not ideal early on. Endpoint, I think this has been the name of their game. They have started off very, very strong on all 3 maps. Won the first, maybe makes a difference on the first map. Doesn't seem to really affect Budapest 5 at all on that second map. We'll see how it goes here on Inferno. Still very early and very difficult to call. But they have looked really good. Yeah, we've seen, I think, Budapest 5 come in with some early rounds, like with a Force Buy or whatever, on Mirage and Dust 2. But on Inferno, not really been the case so far. Endpoint have been very clean with it. Very clean with it indeed. Another slow round coming in here. Just sending the feelers out there, as can be the nature of Inferno. About a minute off the clock and not a single frag as yet. I don't even think any players have seen each other. At B, Thomas is edging in. Got to be careful. The boost up on the new box. The bomb is not too far behind him. So to me, that kind of says, let's go B. But maybe Crucial getting that double is going to change things up ever so slightly. Vito will trade on to Thomas. That's where the M4 is at. And yeah, they want nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, like I say, the A control coming in. They can easily hit this A site. And it will be a fourth for Endpoint. By the looks of things, Budapest 5, I think, aiming to save what they've got here. Which is actually a recovered AK. So the M4 and the AK into this next round could be pretty good for them.
Yeah, good job by Endpoint just to avoid the rifle that was stacked onto this B site with some other players. Crucial getting a couple of kills over at A, as you said, I think really made the difference there. Made them realize they could just go back to the A site pretty comfortably. Now it's a question of, do Endpoint want to commit to trying to deny these guns from being saved? Endpoint's economy already pretty good, so they're going to go for it. Robin doing some damage, but not getting the kill that he was perhaps hoping for. Torzy sitting behind this pillar. The bomb's about to go off, so Endpoint have got to go now if they want to get these kills, and Mighty Max falls. Torzy repositions back to safety. And Endpoint will not be able to deny those guns from being saved. Not a massive problem for Endpoint, though. They lose a couple of guns at the end there, but their money continues to look good. And in comes a double up setup from the CT side. Corey and Torzy picking up some snipers to try and make the difference here.
Certainly going to need something to make the difference. Torzy flashed off early. A little unfortunate in that sense. Max floating around. Nothing happening once again, though. No super fast plays from either team. Bit of chip damage there onto Corey. Molly as well onto the corner. So they're fairly certain that he's around. He's going to try and go for a wallbang. I think it was close. Onto Max. Great flash coming in, though, for Thomas. The dynamic duo working pretty well on the B side of things. However, Bedito has got other ideas. Just managed to find a quick trade. Bringing it back into a 4-on-4. But an early rotation, of course, across from the A site because that B site is weakened. Might just be what Endpoint needed. Oh, he's not in the smoke, though. Surreal's going to get spotted. His legs just sticking out. Coolio will take him down into a 4 versus 3, making a 4 versus 2. As Budapest 5 looks set to get their first round on the board. Indeed, only losing the one player. Really clean stuff coming in. They will finally, like I say, get that round.
Yeah, that round just kind of slowly falls apart from Endpoint. It looked so good for them to start with. It was a fantastic flash from Mighty Max. Thomas was able to get the opening kill. And then there was definitely a world in which the B site just falls from that point. If Endpoint are able to trade their way onto B, if they're able to just win that fight onto the second man on B, they probably win the round straight up. And Thomas had the chance to do that when he took the fight against the man at Coffins, but he ended up losing out. Then over on the other side of the map, Crucial's looking for a solo play of his own, which doesn't work out for him. And Endpoint just keep on taking 1v1 fights that unfortunately don't go their way. So Endpoint unlucky to lose that round. Looked good for them at the start. There's that kill from Coolio, finding it Surreal over at A long. And then once the commit came into the B site, Endpoint's utility wasn't able to make the difference. So Endpoint lose their first round, but they're still in a good spot. They're still able to buy into this next one. Crucial's got the AWP, they've got the AKs, and they've got some early nades on Banana to take control.
See what they can get done with it. Liking this smoke here at the top end of Banana to work with. It allows an awful lot of control. As you can see, Mighty Max is trying to play around it. Once again, though, no one really giving any early peaks, let alone early fights. Everybody's playing nice and safe on both sides. Torzi, I mean, I say that, he's got a pretty aggressive angle here on the other side of this smoke. Knows that there's someone around. I think he has indeed heard the footsteps recently, so weary of both of those angles, but nothing coming his way. As the smoke starts to dissipate, he will back away towards long. Maybe even it's actually Flash, you know, who's rotating across, so team set on the B bomb site, actually on both sides of things, as you can see where the bomb is at. 40 seconds left. It'll be a 5-on-2 directly on the site because Flashy looks set to rotate away. He's fully committing to the rotate away as well. Kind of starting to come back, though, as a bit of presence is being shown. Great hit from Bedito coming in as the B bomb site needs defending. It's looking pretty solid. Surreal does trade back Corey, and the other two players are being kept out. Bomb plant coming in. Double swing. They will drop the bomb planter as Surreal not quite clean enough with it. It's actually crucial to find that kill onto Flashy, and now it is only he in a 1 versus 3. Fake plant coming in. No one going to bite as the flank comes through. And there you have it. A second round for Budapest 5.
Starting to get themselves some rounds on the board now. Endpoint this time push more together on the B site. They're at least able to get towards the site itself, but Budapest 5 remain on top of the situation. And Endpoint are now forced down to pistols ahead of this round. No nades for them either. Just the Deegs in play, as well as one P250. But I say just the Deegs. You can never discount the Desert Eagles. The ability to get that headshot is always powerful. And Mighty Max is really delivering right now. Crucial goes into the flames, though, taking a big risk to try and hunt down that kill. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out for him, but Surreal could get some good timing here. Player up close is caught off guard. The spam of the dig gets another frag for Endpoint, and they are really making this a close round.
Dangerous times. Endpoint, another frag coming in. Mighty Max actually gets the better of Flashy there somehow. I guess him being tagged up certainly helped. A 3k so far for Max. Corey, though, has a nice little angle here. Flash going to come in. He manages to turn away from it. Fake plant coming through, and he will win out the clutch just about. 12 HP. So they do get the round, but it is a massively costly one here. And, of course, very little invested for Endpoint there. So they will be happy to have done that damage. And it's kind of, you know, in this round, It's not massively painful, but it's kind of the future rounds. If Endpoint get this on the board, then Budapest 5, I think, just about will have enough to buy, but still going to be in a tough spot with it. So yeah, those accumulator rounds, the rounds that are supposed to build you money and confidence ultimately, are very important to get on the board. Not going to happen there, but Torzy, he is looking to take, once again, another round into his own hands. Will be an early frag onto Surreal.
Wow, look at the response from Robin, though, just running up A long with the bomb in hand, and he gets the kill he was looking for. Rotate into CT from Bodito could be well timed. Robin should be caught off guard, but there are further players pushing, and Crucial will eventually get the trade he was looking for. Now it's all on Corey to lock down this B side of the map. He's been Mr. Reliable for Budapest 5, but he's only able to get one kill this time round. The bomb's going to get its way to B, and Thomas can cut off the rotations. Well played by Endpoint. They get themselves onto B, and Coolio has got to try to clutch.
He is indeed going to go for it, despite the fact that their money is not great. Oh, wins that fight onto Mighty Max. I thought he was dead to rights, but not going to be the case. Now suddenly looks a lot more doable. Thomas not holding the angle, going to let him pass, but he is coming his way. Oh, did he just spot the edge? I don't think he did, but Thomas spotted him, that's for sure. Big swing and dink for dink. But of course, that AK will come out on top of every single scenario against that M4. And it will be a 5th round for Endpoint. But again, all the way down to the wire, incredibly competitive stuff between these two teams. A close clutch for Budapest 5 to get their 3rd, and a close clutch for Endpoint to get their 5th. So it is very, very hard to call here early on who really is in control.
Yeah, I think Endpoint there went for such a fast long push because they saw that AWP in apartments and they realized there's not going to be an AWP holding long. So if they just run out, if they just get there in time, they don't have to be worried of an AWP. They know that they're going to be at least fighting rifle on rifle, which wouldn't be too bad. And Robin just takes that risk of pushing the smoke and really makes the most of it. Opens up the round for them. And then Endpoint start to play with the rotations. And even though it came somewhat close there at the end, Endpoint got themselves into a really good spot on the B site to close it out. They might be going for another B play in this next round as well, because they've got 4 players stacked on Banana. CT smoke already being lined up. Corey's here with the Desert Eagle, looking to line up some shots. There's a counter smoke as well, and there we go. Benito sitting behind that smoke, gets 2 kills, and now Endpoint aren't sure if they want to push this anymore.
Yeah, they've definitely been thwarted. Deadly, deadly times. Torzy will go down on the A site. Surreal's got a bit of control therefore, and the A site is the vulnerable one, particularly after that kill. Coolio, oh, too many angles for him. Looks away at the wrong time. Damned if you do, damned if you don't there. I think he might have gotten one and traded as kind of his best case scenario, but he doesn't even find a single frag. So the heroics of Bodito might just have been all in vain. We'll see. He's still alive. He's got a Mac 10. Bit more cash to be earning. He will go down, though, and it's looking pretty good here. Corey, though, on the AK. Nothing to shake his stick at. Not quite the second. Thomas will get that double spray down in the end. And the 6th round for Endpoint. But again, it's so very close, Orca. It's really, really, really neck and neck between these two teams.
Kills from Bodito just sitting behind the smoke. Definitely started off strong for Budapest 5, but Endpoint are able to weather the storm. And into another gun round we go. Endpoint with a 6-3 lead so far. Torzy peeking down mid with the AWP. We haven't seen much of this so far, and he gets the kill with it. Nice shot from Torzy. Opens up the round, and Budapest 5 aren't done yet. Corey and Bonito both chiming in on Banana. It's an absolute shutout so far. Budapest 5 getting all 3 kills at the start of this round without taking a single point of damage. Madness
from them so far. The Real will be the first to dish out a point of damage. He in fact does 100 to find that kill onto Torzy. So big stuff from him. Unfortunately, it does not look like it's going to be enough. Just under a minute left here. They do have the bomb. They've got a tiny bit of utility in the hands of Robin. And technically speaking, it is a 2 versus 2 on the A site directly. Oh, but that molly coming in, I think it Won't spread to Surreal, but certainly going to make life difficult for him. The smoke coming out on top of it as well. And a slow rotation from Badito here. Flashy needs to be careful. Blind spray through the smoke there from Robin. Going to allow Surreal a little bit of control. Manages to find the first. Second is low. He's leaving him even lower. Knows where he is. The shadow is there. However, the rotation coming in. It's all onto Robin. 2 quick kills. Brings it into a 1 versus 1. The bomb plant will come in. So that is 1 checkbox ticked. It's now the headshot that he needs to find onto Corey in and around this single stack box. He will get it. Endpoint get the 7th as Robin 1v3s, not known as being one of the bigger fraggers on this Endpoint side, but steps up when his team needs him. A lot of individual plays coming in for Endpoint in some of these rounds. And once again, Budapest 5 letting it slip away.
Yeah, it definitely feels like in terms of individual plays, it's been Endpoint who've had the better of them throughout this series, and that continues. Another individual steps up. Robin, whoa, okay, Corey just sends 2 players out of the round instantly. Those Deagle headshots lined up at the start of the round. Wow, that is a good start for Budapest 5. Corey again having impact. And now Endpoint are going to have to dig deep to win this round against the Pistols after losing those 2 players early.
Well, it seems the craziness does not stop, Hawker. This game keeps on delivering in some very questionable ways. It has been a wild ride here on Inferno. And we are not even halfway through yet, in theory. I mean, depends on how it goes in the end. Robin with a nice little 1-tap onto Coolio. Looking to open up this A site. They've also got Surreal pushed in behind towards CT to try and keep the rotations at bay. Real patient stuff so far from Endpoint. Deep little smoke coming in. A Molotov to follow up to clear out every single angle possible. Torzi is firmly smoked out. Surreal above him will take him down. There you have it. Into the 3-on-3. Looking a little more doable here. Flashy is... run away from the A site to recover himself an AK. He's made it back in pretty good time. In fact, the rotations are here really, really quickly, so definitely got to be careful. Slowly but surely going to edge their way in. No kits, of course. Corey on 20 HP. Time ticking away, and the crossfire too strong. It'll all be onto Flashy. Can't get it done. Surreal takes him down, and an 8th round coming in for Endpoint.
Ooh, those kills from Corey. Very impressive start to the round, but like you said, Endpoint are able to get it over the line. It feels like a bunch of these rounds have come close, even when it's been the low buys. Budapest 5 have found ways to start the round strong, but Endpoint are able to close it out. They keep on going here. Their T side has been very good. They've been able to overcome adversity, and Thomas spots Benito early in the round. The AWP was boosted up, but he gets picked off just alone on Banana. When you get boosted like that, you have to be ready for those closer angles. And unfortunately, they didn't have the nades really to clear out the close angle there. They didn't have the mollies, which would have been nice to make sure there wasn't a player close. So Benito gets caught off guard, and with a clean man advantage, Endpoint will be liking their chances at the start of this round. But Corey's going for a play here, and it's not successful. Thomas now with 2 kills on Banana.
Looking really good. Endpoint, although it has been close, seem to be performing very, very well under the pressure. The scoreline does not really dictate how a lot of these rounds have been going, in all honesty. Nade comes in, tiny bit of damage done as the hit onto the A site will follow. 1 for 1. And that is that. Budapest 5 probably going to save what they've got into this next round, or the remainder of what they've got. Should be a 9th round for Endpoint pretty cleanly on the board. Only losing the 1 player in the process.
Yeah, not too shabby for them. Getting those 2 kills on Banana forces Budapest 5 to rotate a couple of players over to the B site, leaves A vulnerable, and Endpoint are able to make the most of that. Again, well positioned by Thomas to get that first kill. think Budapest 5 will be a bit frustrated that they let Thomas get up close to begin with when going for that boost. But Thomas did well to play around the smoke. And Endpoint now up to a 9-3 lead. We've had quite a few close rounds for Budapest 5, but they haven't been able to get consistent round wins on the board. Endpoint have started to really take over this game. And even with those 2 saved guns, Budapest 5 money isn't great. They can get a full buy together, but a couple of players having to go down to weaker weapons ahead of this round.
Big nade damage onto Pedito, and he's not able to see any players at all before he just goes down to the flames. Oh, they've got to be so frustrated right now on the CT side of things, trying to do something a bit more proactive, a bit more aggressive, really vying for banana control, and they just lose a player instantly. It's gotta burn for sure. Quite literally in the case of Pedito, unfortunately, and now a hefty advantage for Endpoint. A lot of CT utility used and nothing effective really coming in. Perfect counter flash as Corey is caught completely with his pants down. They also know that there's got to be another player around. Meanwhile, the A defense is incredibly weak. Endpoint have really got the number of Budapest 5 right now.
You see Mighty Max's role on Banana really just to facilitate Thomas, who gets flashed in for another frag. Max already has a kill of his own on the round. All looking good for Endpoint at the start of this one. Getting in a 3v5, Budapest 5 are aware they have to take some risks, so they're staying with 2 players stacked on Banana, but unfortunately, they seem to have got the wrong read in this round. Coolio is currently alone on 8, and he's about to have 5 Endpoint players coming his way. So Coolio is really going to have to do something special to keep his team in this round. And here we go. First kill from above. Looks for more. Gets a second. Coolio doing the damage right now. Gets 3 frags. And he might have kept his team in this round. But the problem is that Budapest 5 are still really far away on this rotation.
Yeah, the AWP as well in the 2 versus 2 with no kind of information to work with, where you have to play a bit more reactively, is going to be really tough. The one molly used, Mighty Max though doesn't care, peeks out, finds the headshot. It's all onto Torzi. AWP in hand, quick flick onto Crucial. Only loses half his HP and he actually gets Max as well. Oh my goodness, Torzi has done it. The 1 versus 2, a massive clutch for Budapest 5. So many big rounds are coming in this game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, to even get to that point in the first place, Coolio pretty much had to get the 3 kills from this position, and he does so successfully. He's able to turn this into some 1v1s. He's able to catch some players out, and then Torzi steps up with these shots at the end here, getting that first kill onto the site, getting Mighty Max as well. Budapest 5 somehow saved the round, and now we've got a position where both teams basically spent all their money into this one, and a fast banana play from Endpoint.
Speed is the name of the game. They are angry after that. Really angry, in fact. Had a lot of different factors, I would have thought. Unfortunately, it is thwarted. It is slowing down. The brakes slammed, but they're looking to rev the engine back up as they will once again burst out. The MAC-10 leading the way. Not quite clean there. Nice little tag coming in from Pedito before he goes down. Corey, meanwhile, at the back of the site trying to facilitate himself. He will manage 1, but very quickly traded back. Now a 3 versus 3. Thomas is relatively low. Oh, and Flashy is close on the edge of the smoke. He gets the healthiest player in the form of Crucial, drops the bomb, and is able to escape. A perfect exchange coming in. Meanwhile, the boost. Robin's ready for it, though. Savvy to the fact the plant comes in. 2 versus 2. Still going to be tough, but they managed to get it done. Winning their individual fights, getting the positional drop on their opponents. And a 10th for Endpoint once again. Consistent throughout the series at bouncing back.
Yeah, Endpoint were pretty obvious about what they were doing in that round, taking the early banana control, but when you go for those B plays, if you have all the nades lined up effectively, you can be very successful, and here comes some aggression. Budapest 5 not wasting any time pushing down mid in this one. Thomas is there to stop them, though. 2 headshots of his own with the AK, Budapest 5 don't win on the aggression early, and it's actually Endpoint who are coming right back at them. Surreal and Crucial both getting kills, and it looks like Endpoint are going to close out this half with 11 rounds on the board.
Corey, I'm going to try his best, but it is certainly going to be tough. Gets the first. But immediately dealt with by Thomas over in the crawl space there. So 11-4. Endpoint definitely bringing it on their T side, which for me is kind of worrying from what we've seen of Budapest 5. Surely didn't win the first map of the series, but they have had pretty comprehensive CT sides. So only getting 4 rounds there does worry me slightly. And still kind of looking good. You know, Corey is up there with the frags, of course, remaining consistent. But Endpoint, frustrated, angry, bitter. And it definitely does show in a lot of these rounds. But some really, really good stuff coming in from them. The utility usage, absolutely perfect. And Max and Thomas, I think you mentioned it numerous times, but they were very, very effective over in Banana. We'll see if the continuation, I should say, of that here on the B site in the second half. As you can see, they're both together. Big nade damage coming in. There's Julies as well. No time to talk, no time to really break too much down. Thomas does fall, but Mighty Max trades one back. However, has to be very, very careful. Playing an aggressive angle. Nice little setup. Crucial's here to bail him out. And a 4 versus 3 before the bomb goes down.
Yeah, really well done by Mighty Max there. Gets one kill, backs off. Knows that he just needs to wait for his teammates to arrive, and he baits them in for that fight initially. So Mighty Max has done such a good job at getting them into a good chance on this retake, but Torzi taking one man away. Surreal gets one back. Trades keep on coming toward the bomb site, and Coolio jumps into the open. Torzi not landing any shots here, but the time is going against Endpoint. They've got to get some quick kills now. Moving in, and Coolio gets one more. It's Mighty Max versus 2, trying to find a clutch on the pistol. He was able to get a clutch on the T-side pistol, but not on the second half. Budapest 5 lock it down on the B-bomb site, give themselves the all-important pistol round win. And that keeps them in this game. If they can get rolling here, maybe they can start this comeback.
Certainly possible, but Endpoint are going to put up some obstacles along the way. The first one will be this force buy into the second round of the second half. Scout and Deegs, you know how it goes. Crucial holding up close. Quick reaction onto Torzi. That's a nice early frag. Coolio has also been chipped early, so trouble already in the Budapest 5 camp. They have to be careful not to lose any more men.
Definitely can't afford to let this round slip. They make sure to group up for a play at this point, and Corey gets the headshot he was looking for. Thomas has a gap to work with under this smoke. He also has his teammates rotating over to help him, but Thomas is hearing them run back right now, so Endpoint are going to try and arrive on this A site before their opponents, and I think they may be able to do so, but Surreal is the man who's caught while rotating, and now there's only one man on the A site itself. Robin waiting in the wings. They haven't cleared him. Oh, Robin, two kills from the site, and he might be able to do more here. Pulls out a smoke at just the wrong time, so the bomb will be planted. The Endpoint keep on finding frags.
Always competitive, it seems. And the rotations are here in pretty quick succession, so not like it is over just yet. There's no one on the site itself. Endpoint are going to use an awful lot of their time checking said site. Flashy, meanwhile, pulling off a quick wrap, will catch Crucial at the very least. AK recovered for Thomas. They know that he's on the site, but he just doesn't know where they are. And Corey gets a free frag in the end. 6th round for Budapest 5 picked up.
Shot from Crucial to begin with. The player just basically peeks into his crosshair, and Robin had to spam away with this dig. He only had the one bullet left in the clip at the end there, which is why he tried to put a smoke down, tried to maybe stay alive and get a reload off in the smoke, but couldn't do so. And that means that Budapest 5 are able to win the round and should be able to win this one as well. Flashy leading the way up Banana. The Mac-10 looking for an early fight, and it's only the pistols on the Endpoint side of things here, so shouldn't be too difficult for the T's.
Still unsure though, playing it a little slow here. Need to be wary of walking into a stack, of course. A lot of effective stack spots on Inferno. Yeah, really winding the clock down. I think that's fair enough in a force buy on a map like this. It is a little easier with the utility to burst into a bomb site. Just playing the default, hoping to catch off some aggression, get that early kill. Not going to be the case, however, and they need to be careful. The B bomb site has got 4 players in tow. Looks like they're going A though, where they're only going to have to deal with Robin. He does have a deagle, but still, it is certainly going to be hard for him. If he gets one, I think you could be happy. It's one of those rounds where any damage is good damage. It's a bit of an off angle as well here at the hay bales, or the hay cart, I should call it, but they go a bit too wide for him, and he's not able to land the shot. And that will be the round.
Yeah, pretty straightforward for them at this point. Looks like Endpoint are just going to sit back and try and not allow Budapest 5 to get some extra money at the end here. There's not much for Endpoint to save. Literally just a couple of pistols. So it's really all about trying to deny Budapest 5, and you can be fairly certain the Mac 10's probably going to run in. This is where Endpoint can maybe line up a crossfire, maybe line up some kills. Actually looking for these fights with the Mac 10, looking for that bonus money. I don't think he's going to find it at the end here. Endpoint playing it super safe, not giving away any kills, not giving away any money at the end there. And here comes the buy into the next round. Crucial's got himself an AWP. We've seen individuals step up across the board for Endpoint throughout this game. Now on the CT side, Crucial can get that AWP in his hands more consistently. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for him, while the rest of the team also get the buy together.
Plays pretty effectively, pretty consistently on the CT side of this map with that AWP. Once again, though, just utility being expended by both sides. Banana control coming in. It's something that Endpoint have seemingly really worked on. And it does pay. Tag coming in onto Flashy there. Robbed away, and it makes all the difference, actually. Coolio's able to get that trade quite easily because of it. Meanwhile, on the site, Robin trying to do what he can, but it's not good enough. The push-up short is super effective. Budapest 5 looks set to get their 8th. It's still not clear-cut here, though. Spedito is left on 4 HP. Deep smokes from either side, not quite doing enough, and don't really have very much on the Endpoint side of things to work with in terms of this retake. I feel like they were waiting for someone to peek into them like that, and just as Thomas starts to move away, by the way, he gets peeked. That, of course, is Counter-Strike, my friend. And Max just looking to take the FAMAS into the next round. It's not really anything spicy, but it's something. However, Budapest 5 really starting to close the gap.
And I'm glad we got to see Crucial's POV there, because I think his missed shot makes a big difference in that one. If he lands that shot, I think that they can probably hold off on the A site just a little bit longer. It would have been easier for them, but he misses the shot. It ends up costing him his life, and it allows Budapest 5 to get onto the site so much sooner. So we were expecting Crucial to step up on the CT side with the AWP. Unfortunately, in that round, he's unable to really make too much of a difference. And Budapest 5 do a good job at just making sure they push him together. They don't give the AWP easy fights in that round. Now Endpoint have to go down to this half buy. So Budapest 5 starting to mount this comeback here. 4 rounds in a row to start this T side. They'll be looking to extend that even further in this one, as Flashy was ready to lead the charge onto B. Smoke's being deployed. Budapest 5 don't have the bomb on Banana, but Flashy's going to look for the frags anyway.
Ooh. Look being the operative word there. As they are just hidden away from him. There you go. Thomas peeks out. He will be traded, though. So there's that. 1 for 1. Mighty Mac's got to be careful. The smoke's starting to dissipate, and they've sent another man behind enemy lines. Oh, awkward fight. Pedito going to go down. That's a pretty key frag, but once again, there's only the one player left on the A site in the form of Surreal. He is kind of hidden away, a little bit of a off angle, I suppose. Gets one, not quite the second, but still keeping things interesting. Torzi going to be tagged up, so is Corey. By the nade, by the AWP shot. Not quite able to find very much on the Budapest 5 side of things. And straight up coming in, here we go. Mighty Max gets it. Now all onto Torzi, 1 versus 2. They've got a kit available. HP doesn't matter as much. Gap starts to close as he misses the shot. And he has so much to deal with here. Crucial going to go down. Deagle is out and he wins it. Oh, Torzi. That's a massive round to be getting. The 1 versus 2. They needed that round. You know, it's one of the free rounds, so to speak. Endpoint going to be robbed at the end by the individual play.
This first shot onto Crucial is so difficult to do. That's really impressive by Torzi. Fast reactions, fast flick, because that's a shot, you know if you miss that, you're screwed. You know if you miss that, you're in trouble, but he takes the risk of just taking the shot while the head is only showing. It's really difficult to land that, but he does it. And he pulls out the pistol to win the clutch. Big props to Torzi for stepping up for his team in that round. And Budapest 5 keep the win streak alive, keep the win streak going. Flawless T side for them so far, at least in terms of round wins. Maybe the way in which they won that round wasn't flawless, but they get the round win. That's the main thing. And Crucial this time AWPing on A long, but it's the short play again. Robin ready for it though. Spray not going to get the kill, but Surreal's here to help. 2 kills from Surreal, looking for more. He has to reload, but Robin is the man finally coming into play. And this time Budapest 5 gets shut out of the A site.
Endpoint, I think, slight change in the setup on the A side of things makes it a little more difficult, as Budapest 5 are not expecting it, clearly. And this is kind of the issue with a really slow start in the first half. You have to claw your way back so far. It's a very steep hill to climb that as soon as you put a foot wrong, suddenly it all comes crashing down. It is very much a House of Cards kind of comeback. So they do have money to buy into this. Not ideal, as you can see. Corey is relatively poor. I will avoid the obvious pun, but all the same, not looking too good for Budapest 5. I think he has just been dropped across though, so gonna make it work across the board. They do indeed have the buy that they want. Torzi on the AWP. The Endpoint in with a really good chance of breaking the economy, breaking the spirit, and of course edging closer to getting the 16th round. All to play for in this round then. Very, very important round number 22 for Budapest 5 especially.
It was a 4-man B stack at the start of this round for Endpoint, but they've rotated those players back to A now. They're just there to help with some early utility. Budapest 5, though, looking into top mid. Crucial again is AWPing on this short side, so A long is pretty open right now. Surreal has to put down a defensive smoke, and Endpoint are heavily rotating over to A here. They're ready for this, but Torzi is ready for Crucial's angle, winning the fight of the AWPs early. Corey gets that kill, and it's just a flurry of frags onto the A bomb site. Endpoint not ready for it, and they're going to have to save.
I feel like that phrase really does sum this map up. Not ready for it. I think both teams getting caught off guard by so many of their opponents' plays, and it is making all the difference. Still is Endpoint with that lead, but not a single kill coming in. It is kind of worrisome. They might get some towards the end here if Budapest 5 really do commit to the hunt, but I don't think they will. They themselves do not have an awful lot of cash. So looking really, really weird here for both teams, honestly. I think Budapest 5 are happy to get that one on the board. Like I said, incredibly important for them. They managed to get it done. Meanwhile, the buy coming in from Endpoint is pretty chunky. And we have seen them bounce back really well so far across the course of this series. We'll see if they can do the same here in round number 23.
Crucial's not been having the best of times over on the A side of the map, so he's decided to switch it up this time, starting the round over on the B side of things. Thomas is the man getting aggressive, though. Smoke down on Banana. Thomas looking to spam with the M4. That silencer means it's more difficult for the opponents to see where he's shooting from. Meanwhile, Crucial's been mollied away from Banana, so he's not able to look for that opening pick that he was hoping for. Budapest 5 slowly but surely taking that Banana control away from Endpoint. But Crucial's going to remain on this aggressive angle, hoping that he can get a quick kill before Budapest 5 push this site.
Oh, Crucial looking away almost at the wrong time, spotting the hand. Patience, it's all a bait, but it's all good. Crucial's ready for it. Second coming in as well. The third, Crucial. It's a one-man army. He does get taken down eventually, but he's created so much space. Surely not. Still another player at the back of the site, by the way. Coolio will fall. And the 13th in for Endpoint. Oh my goodness. He is so fast. Even in slow motion.
He loves those little close-range flicks, if you like. And he does them very quickly. And I think Crucial switching it up and going to the B site that round was a really good call, because over on short, he wasn't finding much success. He was losing the fights more often than not. And I think in general, short can be pretty difficult to play on the A site with the AWP. So going into Banana, where there's just the one angle to deal with, where he can just take the fights, that's where Crucial can be at his best. And now I'm sure he'll be much more confident off the back of that round, because Endpoint with a 13-10 lead, Crucial landing some shots. It's looking much better for them now.
Winding that clock down once again.
It's a really hefty A stack from Endpoint. I think because they've lost A in these previous rounds, they're just stacking top mid. They're just ready for these fights.
Changing it up. This is kind of, I think, what we saw to start this when they were getting a bit walked all over, is they just changed their setup ever so slightly. Something a bit unorthodox. It was like a heavy graveyard setup that they had that really worked well for them. And sure, they rotate the player across, but it's just a nice bit of comfort, and it manages to get the boost in, of course. The Real gets 2 easy frags. Meanwhile, Bodito over on the B side of things has found an isolated B defender in the form of Mighty Max, who is just going to concede that control. But thankfully, the 2-man advantage and the kill onto Torzi through the smoke, or over the smoke. Maybe there's a gap in it. I'm not quite sure. Crucial finds it nonetheless. Bit of help from his friends. It's now 2 men remaining for the T side. Corey is the only man that's needed, apparently. Oh my goodness, it's all onto Robin. What has happened here? Corey with 3 quick frags. It's somehow down to a one-on-one. Robin taps onto the bomb, goes for the swing, and Corey takes him down. The cleanest 4K you've ever seen.
Corey has been incredibly impressive throughout this series. This is simply sublime. These headshots are so fast. They can't get the trade kills. And then at the end, he keeps his cool. He plays the bomb. He goes back round, and there's no way he's missing that final headshot. He wants the highlight clip, and he delivers. And yeah, really, Corey, you did just do that. He can't quite believe it himself, but that is a big, big, big round. And again, Budapest 5 have had Corey stepping up throughout this series. He has been the real standout on this team.
Absolutely massive. And that's one of the things you've got to contend with, those individuals. Slapping you about a little bit. See how Endpoint plan on bouncing back. It's a weird kind of round. Neither team have got tons of cash. So we've got 2 MAC-10s and a Galil out for Budapest 5. And then 2 MP9s out for Endpoint. No kit for Endpoint. Feel like someone perhaps should have picked one up, unless they've got big plans for the nades here. Which I suppose it is Inferno. It's a bit of a hard toss-up. Pedito going to take a lot of early damage. Oh, flash comes in. He gets a stray bullet. The big nade coming in onto Mighty Max. They are able to make it away, but only just double peak, and Thomas gets the double spray down. Loving that A1S action, as it will be another 2-man advantage coming in. They've had one of these in the previous round by exactly the same guy. Not able to convert it. This time, I don't think they'll want to make the same mistake.
Budapest 5 are going into this B site again. This is what worked for them last time, but without Corey on their side, it's someone else's turn to take the frags, to carry them through this round. Robin playing from CT with that MP9 has just done some decent damage, but he gets caught. Thomas is waiting at the back of the bomb site, low on health here. He could really do with at least the one kill, but he might go unchecked. They're finally moving in. They're going to clear his position. Oh, Thomas almost has the chance, but Flashy finds the frag. It's into a 3v3, and it's into a scary position for Endpoint. But Surreal gets 2 kills back. It's all on Coolio sitting back in this ninja position, but Surreal's ready for it. Big 3 kills from Surreal, stepping up for his team and making sure there are no shenanigans this time round. Endpoint take their 14th.
Honestly, the individual plays this game have been pretty crazy across the board. Not in terms of like how they've looked. Obviously, some of them have been absolutely massive, but just in terms of how many individuals have stepped up. It's never really the same people. It feels like Torzi, Corey. Feel like Coolio had a good number over on the CT side of things, and pretty much anybody on Endpoint, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, been real tough to contend with in that sense. Going to be a quick B hit coming in. They have opted to force into it, and they are getting absolutely mowed down. A team kill for good measure. So much damage. 2 frags coming in so far. An absolute mess for the Budapest 5. They have tried to brute force their way into this round, and they're not going to get it done. Mighty Max with the clean double spray down. A triple for him overall. And the 15th for Endpoint. Map and match points, and there's no money at all in the T-side bank.
Yeah, Budapest 5 have had some solo plays to somewhat keep them in this half, but this round here not going their way. Endpoint counter with some good spray through the smoke, counter with some utility and a fast rotate. And now it is desperate times for Budapest 5. They have to win this round with pistols. It's not the best position to be in, but this is where they find themselves. We've seen some heroics before from some of the individuals, but this would be something else. If they can win this round with the pistols, they need some deagle shots to land. Endpoint have rotated again over to this A site. Crucial's got the AWP on Banana, so there are 4 players stacked on A, ready to lock this down.
Oh, almost through the smoke there for Thomas, not quite. Gets the reload off and just about able to back away. The Tech-9 was tracking him down, but Flashy unfortunately not able to convert. Kind of slowed down a little bit here. It did look like the Budapest 5 were about to see a great deal of action. Benito, edge of the smoke stuff, does manage to find a frag. What is going on? There's so many kills coming in. It's a 2 versus 2. They're so low on both sides of the equation. Corey in the pit, Coolio on the side. The rotation's still coming in here, but Mighty Max, is he going to need it? Yes, he will. It's Coolio in the 1 versus 1. Timing not going to work out for him as Crucial just going to creep in. The bomb plant is faked. Crucial, though, it's bought him some time. And Coolio's so unsure of where this AWP is coming from. Going to hold this angle, pretty sure of it, but, you know, swapping across to the other side. Is he coming from long? Is he coming from short? Don't know, mate. I've not heard him scope. I've not heard him step. I'll try and go for the safe plant. And Crucial, he's got a lot of room to work with, but Coolio gets off it in good time. And the 12th round picked up. Another crazy one coming in.
We're still going, Scrib. Just about. Budapest 5 come up with plenty of kills there. It wasn't really one individual that had to step up either. It was just all the pistols chiming in with kills each. And into round 28 we go, and both teams seem to be on their last legs in terms of their economy. A double AWP setup out for Endpoint, but some of the other players having to sacrifice. Meanwhile, for Budapest 5, they've got some MAC-10s in the mix. They've got a Galil in there for Corey. So it really is a position where both teams have invested everything into this one. And we'll see who can get the better of it. Obviously, if Endpoint win, they just get the victory. But if Budapest 5 win this one, then Endpoint's money would be questionable. Budapest 5 could still very much make this comeback happen. At the start of this round, with both teams having AWPs in play, we're getting a slower start. Banana control gathered by Budapest 5. And they're slowly bringing the bomb and the rest of their players over here. Looks like they want to go for this B play where Thomas and Mighty Max are here to try and stop them. And Thomas and Mighty Max have been pretty good at holding this B site so far.
They have indeed. And they were good at attacking it as well. So, brilliant stuff from them.
End this on a very positive
They're going
note.
to try and push around it. Thomas misses the first shot, but in and around the pillar. The flash is coming in as well, looking good. Torzi will indeed take them both down. But still a man advantage for Endpoint after once again an effective hold coming in from the B-boys. The bomb plant comes pretty successfully. Torzi finds the head of another. 3k coming through from him. Going to be tough, I think, for them to get the better of two AWPs on the retake. Torzi looking for the ace, but Benito steals it away. 13th for Budapest 5 nonetheless, and another individual to step up and bail them out.
Yeah, again, you're seeing just how high the individual level is on this series. The AWP shots are so quick. Endpoint can't do anything about it. Wasn't a bad B-hold from Thomas and Mighty Max, but Thomas missed one or two AWP shots that he might look back on and think those could have been the difference maker. Behind that pillar there, you have to land your shots pretty quickly. Otherwise, the opponents are going to close the distance. You don't have too much cover to work with. And even though they came away with the man advantage, Budapest 5 step up under pressure. They keep it going. Like we were saying, Endpoint's money is in the bin. This is probably going the distance, Scriv. And honestly, this series has been thoroughly entertaining throughout. So if we do go the distance, if we do even go to overtime, I'd be all for it. Because some of the plays we've seen throughout this series have been very, very impressive. It's been a high level of individual CS in particular. And we'll see if that is set to continue ahead of these next couple of rounds.
Bit of a mad one. And I think Endpoint are definitely probably dwelling on that slightly. And they're like, I mean, we don't have much money. But the force buys have been pretty effective. You never know. Do we want to risk it 2 rounds in a row? Or do we just kind of play it safe and go for a stronger buy into round number 30? I think that would be the wiser decision of the two. But hey, you never know. They might even get it done with the USPs. Stranger things have happened in this series, to be honest, and Budapest 5 have let the ball drop more often than not in rounds like this as well. So never write anything off, Hawk. That's what you have to say. At this level of Counter-Strike, in a series like this, anything is possible. You have a bit of an extended pause here. I don't think anyone has particularly dropped out. I would imagine, you know, for those of you in the know, it's TeamSpeak issues, which, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. Let's just say that. Either way, we will be getting back into the action pretty quickly here. Nothing brought up at all from Endpoint. Indeed, playing it safe. The wise decision. All going to come down to round 30 then. A stack. Could be effective to find some frags, but they find the round. I don't know, man. I'll eat my hat.
Yeah, you need some mistakes here. The MAC-10 will be going in first as well. So even if Endpoint get this kill, it's only a MAC-10. But hello, Robin has somehow found a fight there. Flashy getting some kills back, though. This MAC-10 dishing out the damage. Crucial with another kill. These USPs doing a surprising amount of damage. But here's the problem. Budapest 5 can just go back to B. They know that it's the A stack. And they put themselves in a good position here. Endpoint should be able to get some guns at the very least, though, and maybe try and make something of this. But once this bomb goes down, you've got to think they can't win this. Mighty Max moving through, but Benito's ready. And Budapest 5 have dealt with this pretty well.
Has to be expected, but I mean, it's around where, you know, doing damage is good for Endpoint. Bit of confidence. Doesn't really matter economically, to be honest, but definitely feels good for them, particularly if Crucial is able to creep in and possibly find another at the tail end of this round. Ooh, which he's able to do. So there you are. That's actually some pretty big damage coming in off the back of the USPs. Thomas, I think, going to take his MAC-10 into the next round. I don't know if he'll want to keep it or use it. And he dies to the bomb there. I was going to say, I'm not sure if he even survives. Particularly with no armor, but it's all good. It's all good. He's going to be able to buy here. And like I said, I don't think the MAC-10 was really anything to be happy about.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to get close to the bomb site and maybe be able to save a gun at the end. I don't think it was going to happen for him, but here we go. Round number 30. By coming in from Endpoint and getting a couple of pistol kills does allow them just a few more pieces of utility. A slightly better buy across the board. It's the full rifles for Endpoint, but obviously a full buy for Budapest 5 as well. And some early banana fights coming through. Badito forced away by the flames, but Endpoint themselves are not going to be fighting too hard for banana. So both teams playing it safe at the start of this one.
No one wants to make a mistake in a round like this.
Yeah, this is always how it feels like it goes in round 30. It's a very slow start. Everyone just sitting there like, please give me a free kill. But there's not going to be any freebies.
Nah, not today. Tournament life on the line. Semi-finals. And of course, don't get any of that cash unless you get into the grand final. So really, really, really... not harsh, but, you know, it's an unforgiving, let's go with unforgiving kind of system. So it's not like they can check out and be like, okay, well, at least we got this. No, there is no caveat. You've got to make it all the way through. Budapest 5 going to hit long, and they will take down Crucial. Overtime edging closer and closer and closer. Robin and Surreal to hold things down before the rotations come in. Robin playing the headshot angles. He's the only one left on the A site now. Going to get Molotoved off. Going to get taken down into a 4 versus 2. Thomas and Mighty Max, the dynamic B duo to find the game. Not going to happen by the looks of it, though. Mighty Max just creeping in. Delaying the inevitable. Will get taken down, and overtime it is.
We go the distance and then some. We've got bonus rounds here in our first series of the day. Man, if this is setting the tone for these quarterfinals, Scriv, we are in for a treat today. Because we've got overtime in the decider map of this series. And big props here to Budapest 5. Remember, they were 11-4 down at the half. They had to grind their way back into this one. And they kept on finding rounds. They kept on finding success. And if you look at the stats, they've done a really good job in clutches as well. 5 of their round wins have come from 1vx situations. That's a really impressive stat line to have here for the Budapest 5 guys. As the less experienced team, they've come through, they've come up clutch, and now they've got to try and continue that as we head into overtime.
All right, here we go. The action continues. Budapest 5 riding on a high. Something a bit different as well. Trying to boost over the smoke. Not quite as effective as they would like, unfortunately. You can't really see all that much. Ooh, Mighty Max got to be careful, though. Does get the nade in, and as the smoke dissipates, it becomes a little easier. Nice safe little jump for Mighty Max, though. Spots it out. He was the only one on B for the time being. The rotation will come back through. Who else other than Thomas to join him? Nothing coming early on. Just a little bit of chip damage there onto the Budapest 5 boys.
Ooh, smoke denies Corey's aggression. I think Endpoint are sick and tired of losing that short control because they've stacked 3 players there right now. A-Long is currently wide open. It's a heavy stack on this side of A, and Endpoint in general has struggled to hold that short side of A especially, so you can see why they've gone for this, but now with the smoke going down at top mid, Crucial's got to make sure that A-Long has been covered. He's the man here to hold. Flashbang forces him away. Budapest 5 have got the bomb alone back on Banana, and Torzi lands that shot. Now they can wrap onto this B bomb site and try and split this with 20 seconds left.
Gonna be tough here. Thomas trying to hold things down. Mighty Max as well, but only good for 1. Budapest 5 have really stepped it up. Despite the pressure being on them, they are able to get the better of the B hold. And they've got all the money in the world here on the CT side. So they're going to try and go for it. 4 versus 2. You never know. But Budapest 5 really giving them a good run for their money. Robin will find the first. The AWP going to be harder to get past, though. Torzi gets one from Dark. Surreal, the only player left. And he's shot in the back of the head. Budapest 5, they get their 16th. It is unfortunately after regulation, so it does not spell victory here, but they are keeping the momentum going. They're looking absolutely unstoppable here, Hawker.
Yeah, the fact that the first time Budapest 5 really go for that sort of B split through CT is in that round where Endpoint was so focused on short is just a great time for that call to be made. Heading into overtime, we have to wonder what it's going to look like in terms of how T-sided it's going to be, with both teams dominating their T-sides in regulation, and Torzi has just got back-to-back opening picks in overtime. He's stepping up right now.
They are absolutely deadly on the Budapest 5 side of things. Meanwhile, Endpoint looking a little deflated. Have to not let the mental affect them. It's going to be another B hit coming in. Robin this time around to help out Thomas. They both go 1 for 1, so it is looking good, but they've managed to find another frag in all the action. Meanwhile, Crucial will take down Coolio, getting a bit too giddy, a bit too early. Torzi, though, even with the flash coming in, is smart enough to just hold the trigger for a second. All onto Surreal. Sure, the molly lands, but Torzi is looking so good on this AWP right now. Flash going in, but Surreal can't find anything. 17th for Budapest 5. Will Endpoint ever be able to put a stop to it? It is not looking likely as they keep on rolling that B-bomb site particularly.
And now that we've gone into overtime, it's the B site that's been the main focus for Budapest 5, and Bodito's got a MAC-10. He could have whatever gun he wants, and he's chosen the MAC-10 here. He is going fast in this round. Surely he's going to be going aggressive. He's got to be the man running in first. And indeed he is going for this banana control early. Flashes in for him. Ooh, the MAC-10 thinks better of it, though. Over at top mid, it's Surreal who gets the first kill through. And now Bodito might be going back for a different weapon here. Interesting way to take banana, though.
Yeah, I mean, bit different. So we'll see. Best chance that Endpoint have had for a while, it feels like, for a long, long while. So Budapest 5 going to be put on the back foot. How do they respond? What is their game plan now? Flash going to come in. They're going to push their way out. Player on balcony in the form of Robin. He runs out of ammo, though, or goes for an early reload. Bit awkward for him. Does manage to get one before going down. However, they are falling here on the CT side. Mighty Max, though. The brick wall. Can't get past him. And now Coolio will be the only player remaining. 1 versus 3. Going to go for it last half of the first half of overtime. Last round, I should say, of the first half. But all the same, you know what I mean. He's going for it. He's not saving. He's going to go for it. 25 seconds left. Bomb down in no man's land. They are all kind of low here, but he needs to act quickly.
Yeah, 20 seconds now. Coolio really needs to find a fight. I don't know if he realizes how low the time is. Finally starts running. I think he's finally realized that he's just got to go, and it's not going to happen for him. Thomas lands the last shot. Endpoint take at least 1 CT round here in this first half of overtime. Get a little look at the advanced statistics. Inferno, always a map where you can see that utility damage be high. So far, it's Endpoint who are getting the better of it, though. Mighty Max and Thomas, the 2B players, getting quite a lot of utility damage between them. But for Endpoint, I wonder if 1 CT round is enough, because like we were saying earlier, in regulation, both teams were heavily favoring that T side. Both teams won on their T side 11-4. So heading into overtime, we've got to see if that's going to continue. We've got to see if Endpoint can keep that up as we switch sides and see what Endpoint can bring us on their T side of things.
Incredibly difficult to read into. It's been a very strange game. Crucial, something that I thought was worth noting here into overtime. He's got 18 frags. Not quite what you would expect from him. He has been praised throughout the week. He looked really, really good in a lot of their matchups, but dropped up massively when the pressure is on, at the very least. And I'm not sure of the overall statistics of the series. I think he's doing relatively well on the first 2 maps, but definitely does seem to be a bit missing on Inferno, which is surprising, I think. Maybe because he's not had the AWP in hand as much. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to tell. Either way, the hit going to come through here. Mighty Max, nice and aggressive, manages to find the first head. And now a 5-on-4 ensues pretty damn quickly. They've got 3 more to contend with, though, in that triangle formation. So I'm not sure if the A site is as vulnerable as they think.
Yeah, Mighty Max is in a very powerful position, though, in Library. Gives them just so much map control on the Endpoint side. They can go either way here and have the ability to approach this from lots of different angles. They've decided their end goal is the A site this time round, so they're going to need to deal with that 3-man stack, but there comes Mighty Max. Catches the player in the back, catches the player in the open, and the trades continue onto the site itself. Corey's still alive, though. They're not aware of this. They're not ready for Corey. He can line up multiple kills here, but oh, Surreal turns it round. Great shot from Surreal. We had to get that one. And now Torzi is locked out of the site with the AWP. This should not be possible.
Gonna go for it, though, of course. The beauty of overtime. Get these spicy moments. Nothing really coming his way. I mean, to be fair, it's probably advisable on the CT side to just save the AWP. It's pretty expensive. If they lose the next round, it's like they can't pull it out in that 3rd round. So definitely do have to be careful in that sense. There you have it. Endpoint will indeed get the first round of the second half, evening things back up. It's definitely close. I mean, sure, they survived with 3, but some of those exchanges leave players on pretty low HP, so it definitely could have gone the way of Budapest 5. I think they'll be a bit frustrated that maybe it doesn't in some cases.
Yeah, I think just Corey there, just getting turned on by Surreal is ridiculous. Surreal should not be getting that kill, but fair play to him. Turns around and gets the instant headshot. Corey was thinking he could line up multiple kills there, and he almost had the chance to do so. Here we go into the next round. All tied up, and we wouldn't have it any other way. 17-17. Mighty Max the man moving up Banana early, and oh no, the switch from Benito is terribly timed. Corey is at least able to get 1 kill back, and thankfully he's got the Molotov to give him a bit more breathing room. Over on the other side, Torzi scoped in, but Robin's ready for it. Great shot from the Swede, and Endpoint take the early advantage.
Really looked good across the course of this map, actually, Robin, with some massive rounds, some great moments, and some sharp headshots. Ooh, flashy. And Corey actually are in with some pretty quick flanks here. Coolio's going to go down incredibly quickly, and Crucial is ready for said flank. Gets 1. Is he going to get the second? No, he isn't, but surely sets the rest of his boys up. He does indeed. Endpoint onto 18. They've clawed it back. The very least secured another overtime, and quite possibly the victory. Their T side looking incredibly good. It has been a hard-fought battle, but finally they feel like they've got a semblance of control here, and it does seem their T side is pretty impressive, to be honest. Like, it seemed to fall apart on the CT side of things, but now they're straight back onto the CT side, and they've looked very dominant. Not quite sure what's happened there. Torzi goes down. Bit of a smoke that I think was fluffed, perhaps. That is not the best kill to be giving away early.
Easy shot for Crucial, just holding mid. He'll take that. And Endpoint now just need 4 more to take this one. But oh, Mighty Max just jumping on that angle. Always going to be risky if an AWP peeks your position, and Benito's there for him. So turned into a 4 versus 4. And Mighty Max, as the in-game leader for Endpoint, has been fragging well so far on this map as well. So him going down is a bit of a shame, but it's up to the rest of the boys to carry this through. And I'm sure Mighty Max will still be making calls from beyond the grave here. He can see everyone's POV, so he can make the decision as to where they want to end. And it looks like the end goal may be the A-bomb site. Flashy holding this initial angle with the AWP. Gets the chance, but it's only the leg shot to start things off.
Robin left pretty low. However, Coolio maybe should have capitalized a little bit early. There's still Corey in on the site as well. This is going to be tough. Deadly spot, Crucial trying to find the trade, does indeed get it. Had to find that. It's all onto Budito now as Flashy also falls to keep them alive here in the quarterfinal. It has been a hard-fought battle. Budito is the only thing that stands between Endpoint and victory. No kit available. One smoke, an AWP. He does retrieve a kit now. Slowly creeping in. Gonna ring off an early shot. That gives his position away. Smoke gonna go down. Crucial, peeking round. It's all a bait. He actually goes down, but it's Surreal who finds the trade quickly. 19-17. Endpoint have a hard time of closing out that third and final map. A hard time of closing out the series after snatching away the first map from their opponents. But they do manage to do it in the end. The 2-1 victory coming in.
2-1 victory, and we should be joined by Tea Time to talk about that game, because that was a crazy series. Tea Time.
Oh, I think you might be muted in TeamSpeak, sir.
Down, but guys, Gory's pretty good at Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, his aim was so sick in some of those rounds. He had some really big plays throughout. I think just seeing Budapest 5 have a player show up like that was already a really good sign. And if we can see more of that from Corey in the future, if he can hit that level consistently, he is definitely one to watch, because all those highlight plays were insane. Just the way he was doing them as well. They were so nice to watch.
And Scrib, at the same time, you talked a little bit about how Endpoint CT side was maybe a little bit weaker and that their T side was stronger. But at the same time, what that also means was that Budapest 5 couldn't get control of their CT side. And that's where, if I have to point fingers at anyone, I would kind of have to lean towards their star opera. Do you think Tarzi was able to get enough done for that series?
The series
on the CT side,
maybe.
Rather.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a weird one. He likes to play really aggressive. He had some like big rounds. Crucial's kind of the same, and I think that can be punished quite heavily on the CT side, right? Not in the sense that it's like predictable or easy to take you down, but it's like when you do get taken down, if you are getting aggressive early, it's such a big gap that is left in the defense, right? So I think both the AWPers actually kind of fell flat to that. But Torzi, for me, I think he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good on both sides of the map, but just not really backed up. You kind of look at the stats, right? It's him and Corey at the top end, and then they're not really backed up by the rest of the squad across the course of the entire series.
No, definitely. A lot of extra pressure on his shoulders as well in that case. But Hawka, let's talk a bit about Mirage. Endpoint managed to take that one away. It was actually Budapest 5's pick. Exactly what went wrong?
Man, it feels like such a long time ago at this point. It's hard to almost think back to it. I think in general, though, from what I remember throughout the series, the difference seemed to be just that Endpoint had more players across the board showing up. Whereas for Budapest 5, like Scriv was saying, you'd see Corey in a lot of rounds. You'd see Toolsy sometimes with the AWP. And then some of the other players would very occasionally come in with big rounds. But for the most part, it was much more even. I don't know what you're allergic to there, Tea Time. Maybe you're allergic to good analysis, apparently.
I know, man.
I mean, brings up, you're sneezing.
See, Hawka, this is why we had you disconnect earlier on in the pre-show, because we can't have me sneezing all across, sense. You know? It's like, the pre-show was at least fun. I faked being you. That's why I had all the bad analysis earlier. Scriv, I know you want to talk about Thomas Scriv, because all across this series, he's been looking absolutely spectacular, and you get a smile on your face whenever you're talking about him. Come on, Scriv, give it to me. Give me those pearly whites.
Mr. Consistent, like throughout, right? You kind of look at these maps and the first map he's not quite needed, right? It's like Crucial having a really good time and backed up by Surreal and Robin, I believe. Like those three were the name of the game, but he's still up there. He's still looking good. And then on Dust 2, he's the highest rated player for Endpoint by quite some margin, mind you. Yes. And then, of course, just on Inferno, combined with a bit of Mighty Max's help, he was incredibly strong on their attack. Like, Banana was just impossible for Budapest 5 to contest with. And I think it shows in the initial first half and then back into overtime as well. He looked really, really good. And yeah, him and Max having a hell of a game on Inferno.
And I think Mighty Max, you correctly outlined it there, definitely deserves some credit for Inferno. His first 2 maps weren't fantastic, but in the last one, he really stepped up, second only to Thomas. But let's take a look at the brackets to see who exactly Endpoint might be facing later on, as we can see how they've progressed through within the playoffs. They will be in the semifinals, having beaten Budapest 5. They will have to face against the victor of Smash and Forza. And listen, that both those teams definitely ones that Endpoint can take, I think, on a good day. Hawker, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Endpoint here showed us some good signs and some kind of flaws in there as well. There were a lot of rounds where against pistols and low buys, they did end up losing. So there's things to work on and things to be happy about for Endpoint in terms of having their players show up. But against either Smash or Fours, I think they can definitely show up. It's just a case of whether we see some of those issues resolved, some of those issues with the low buys, and especially there on Inferno, it felt like their A site defense was sometimes a big problem for them. That CT side in general was not great for either team, but for Endpoint especially, they were really struggling to hold that A site at times. So that's something they've got to think about. But overall, definitely a chance for them in that semi-final for sure.
Well, listen, Hawka, the series that we've got coming up next is Contact versus OG. You will not be joining us for that. So I want you to give me a quick prediction before we go to the break, accelerate the schedule a bit, and then come back with that one.
Quick prediction, quick 2-0. Boom.
All right, fine.
Not for OG.
We'll keep that in mind. Oh.
Gotta say it.
No. Well, listen, we'll be back in just a bit with that series. Make sure you tune in within about 10 minutes or so, and the pre-show will be starting around then. That game is going to be absolutely fantastic. Always a pleasure to watch OG, and we'll be back soon.